And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. This is my sub extravaganza party. This is an opportunity for everybody to sub to the channel, to prove Smokey Saint wrong, and basically, you all have the opportunity to help me free the world from stupid. And I'm starting a campaign called Stop the Stupid. If I should define what the stupid is as the stupid does, as Forrest Gump's mom always used to say. And I'm really getting quite tired of the lack of critical thinking skills that I observe amongst the YouTube's people. I have nothing against people expressing their opinions, but rest assured, I think it is more than fair to inform people that maybe their opinions are not as valuable as they might think. I think we've really harmed a lot of young people. And when I say young people, I'm talking about those that are younger than me. I did not grow up where everybody got a trophy and everybody won in regards to any of our sports. We had winners, we had losers, and it stunk to be a loser, but you know what? It made you work harder. I think the problem is that we have excused laziness. We have excused partial effort. We have excused good enough in the Christian church. Why? Well, because somebody's heart is right. That works with God, yes, but that does not work with the world. Let me give you an example. Let's pretend, okay, let's just pretend that Mr. Biden, our president, that he is got a good heart and good intentions. But you know what? Those good intentions are destroyed by the fact that he doesn't know what he's doing cognitively. He's unable to really know what day it is, where he's at, things like that. I probably shouldn't go on about this too much. My dog's distracting me here. She is biting my hand, and it's actually quite painful. And she chewed through one of my cables earlier, and I want to make sure she's not gnawing through the headphones here while I'm talking away. Like I said, I have to close my eyes in order to keep myself from being distracted when it comes to too much visual stimulation. As far as opinions, I think we can value opinions as the fact that they come from people and people are valuable. But I think there's a lot of times in the Christian church where we think that just because somebody has a good heart, that they therefore have an informed opinion about something. That is not the case. You can be sincere and you can be sincerely wrong. And that does not redeem your sincerity. I'm sure that there are a lot of Muslims that blew themselves up that were sincerely wrong, but they sincerely found themselves in hell. It's been said that the road to hell's been paved with good intentions. Maybe we could say that the road to hell's been paved with misdirected sincerity, sincerity without knowledge, sincerity without truth. I think that's what we're facing in the world today. And I would just really like to stop the stupid. I'm going to make some t-shirts. The battle cry is stop the stupid. What does that exactly entail? Well, I just would suggest that it entails at minimum an acknowledgement of the basic laws of thought, a classical, a Thomistic, Aristotelian approach to how we can ground knowledge, epistemologically speaking. We can ground those by the 3 laws of logic and the laws that actually presuppose even logic, which would be, well, one law, which is just being is. We have to start on the side of being, because that's where we find ourselves. To be or not to be is the question, and that's where we find ourselves. It's either being or non-being. Of course, there are types of being. That's the act potency distinction. But sorry, this dog is just going crazy on me. I don't think you all can hear little Willow, but she is just chewing my hand up. But anyway, tonight's not going to be, or today's not going to be too long. Today is my youngest child, my son, his 22nd birthday. I'm getting very old, and I find that I'm getting tired as well. Let's see. We got Andrew here. Scotty, you there?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good. So we're tonight. Basically, this is my, get more subs stream. Kind of a celebratory short stream, but also just a stream in order to really kind of set forth my new approach to what's going on here on YouTube and everything else. I think, and I'd like to hear your comments on this. I think there needs to be a change in ministry methodology. I know Smokey and I have talked about this, but the niceties have become stumbling blocks. Would you agree, disagree? What do you think?
It depends, to be honest. Like, it has a hierarchy of application. Be harsh when harshness is required. Be nice when niceness is required. But however, considering today's turbulent storms, I think we do need to return to the first century harshness of old.
Yeah, I'm just finding that it's this love motif that seems to surround this westernized Christianity. It's like Jesus is this pseudo hippie. It's all about niceties. It's all about Jesus being love. But when you read the Gospels, you really read a very passionate narrative about God in the flesh. He doesn't seem to be like this pansy Christianity that we see today. Ow, honey. She has got some teeth. But we've turned Jesus into this. He loves everybody without exception. He's not going to offend. And the problem with that, well, besides what is obvious, the problem with that is that we have made this tolerance, this call for, it used to be tolerance was, hey, I'm going to put up with, something I don't agree with, something I agree that's wrong, but I'm going to allow you to have that, But now tolerance has turned into, I have to accept the fact that your truth is equal to my truth, and we have this subjective approach to truth, There's no objectivity to it. It's just, how I experience the world. And we've really lost. Good grief, this puppy is driving me nuts. Scotty, why don't you comment on that so I can gather my thoughts here and put the dog out of the room because she is tearing me up.
Well, it depends on what you mean when you define love. Like, do you mean it in the biblical context where you're called to repent and it's a parental kind of love stuff? Oh, Kenny, you there? Oh, seems I'm alone. But yeah, like as I was saying, it's this tough love that requires us it's this tough love that requires us to embrace further the gospel and understand that we have to reject our sin nature, to oversimplify it, if I may.
Yeah, I'm talking about this sentimentality type of love that we hear about. God is love, and he's reconciled the world to himself, and there's nothing that anybody has to do except this just a census and notitia kind of faith, which is the same kind of faith that D. James Kennedy used to say that the demons had. We've really bastardized, emasculated the gospel.
That's a morally inconsistent Godhead. Since Yahweh cannot establish proper morals, then what's the point? Like, if it's just like love everyone and all of that, then like its morals are thrown out the window. Yahweh cannot establish morals based upon his supreme nature properly. Like, you may as well just throw it all out the window.
Yeah, I've noticed that it's this sentimentality kind of love that really bothers me when it comes to. Oh, we got some echo going on here. That was weird. I lost my train of thought. We have this sentimentality that we all kind of define as love. And let me give you an example. It's like we go to family get-togethers and we pretend that we get along. There's all this superficial niceties. And the kind of love that is, it's like there's no truth. There's no, hey, throughout this past year, let's say it's your brother or your sister, you've been a real jerk idiot, and let's say I've contributed to that. But there's tension in the room just because the two family members are there. But we want to pretend that everything's okay so that all of us can be together. I don't think that's good. I'm kind of at a loss now with, where the sentimentality is, where it's you got to be cordial to people, but you don't have to pretend that you like them. And I think I've just come to the point where I'm so tired of playing the Christian game of smiling. You show up at church, hey, Kenny, how you doing? And you're smiling, you're going, I'm doing great, brother. But you just argued with your wife, you're frustrated, you don't even want to be at church, you've had a rough time, you don't even think God loves you. And we're putting on this fake smile. And I think that's what this sentimentality is. It's this false love, this very simple, shallow love that says, I love you in word, but in deed, there's really an indifference. There really isn't a love. It's just given as niceties. I mean, Andy has done this to me constantly with, oh, I love you. It's like, dude, no, you don't. The people that claim that they love me, they would not have done the things that they've done to me in this last month and a half or whatever. And I'm certain that most of these people that claim they care about Smokey, they don't. They could care less. He made them mad because he's smarter than them. And now they've just declared war. And what's going on at Praise's channel, I have no idea what's happening over there. And a lot of my insight now is just like, wait a minute. This is really indicative of the state of the church today. You've got a lot of people that don't know what they're talking about, get together and then pontificate and try to tell those that are informed, what to do. I don't get it. This is my soapbox. I could go on for a long time because I am so disgusted with Christianity. And if I have to build my channel on the fact that I despise American Christianity, I'm going to do it, because enough is enough. Yes, there are a lot of things that Christians say in the Young Earth camp that put a stumbling block to Christianity. Yes, they defy science and smile at you and lie. I'm pretty disgusted with the methodology of the Young Earth creationists. I care about all these people, but my goodness, the hypocrisy is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Go for it. Hey, there's Garu Lady.
Yep. Anyways, not to detract from the subject, if you don't want me to, Kenny.
Well, we can get to some other things. I'm just kind of, like Garu Lady is saying, I'm, let's see here. They are trying to have a war, but hard to have. Yeah, I've come to the point where I'm trying to ignore the goofiness. I got a text the other day from Praise, hey, the gang wants to talk to you. It's like, well, I was asleep at that time because my sleeping hours are all messed up. But it's like, do you guys really think that a bunch of keyboard YouTube warriors, that I would even indulge the quote unquote talk? No, I'm the boss. I'm going to set forth the demands. And if they don't want to fall in line with scripture, that's fine. But I'm the informed one in this situation. Other occasions, Tammy's the informed one, but I'm the informed one on this occasion. And anyway, Andrew, what say you?
Yeah, Praise has gone absolutely nuts and bonkers.
Yeah, it's really weird. Did you see the exchange between him and Olive, and how Olive was saying, no, Kenny can't come in?
Yeah, have you seen the clips he's done of me and Dave?
No, I haven't. I have been ignoring quite a bit because it's not good for my blood pressure, and it's not good for my fight against stupid, because it really frustrates me.
He's just done one of his I think I star in several of his stupid videos. The stupid ones he puts together, like the one he put together of Gavin with the girls just want to have lunch theme and all the faces of the people on it.
I don't think I even saw that one either.
Oh.
Yeah, I really do have a life, I do.
I understand, but if you watch these videos from a standpoint, they are hilarious. But from a certain standpoint, it's pathetic.
Oh, Praise he's very funny. I mean, but I really do care for Praise as a person. I really do. As a matter of fact, I think he has more problems than everybody realizes, because I can kind of see, somebody who struggles, you can see the struggle in somebody else, and that's all I have to say.
He told me in no uncertain words that my definition of attitude was wrong.
Your definition of attitude?
Yeah. He got on Google. I said in a stream to Dave, I said something along the lines of our attitudes towards Christ are completely wrong, is what I mean along the lines. So I looked up the word and read out a stupid definition about it.
I'm telling you, this whole God is love as our primary hermeneutic has really caused a lot of damage. If you want to, equative clauses, God is, you got the Coppola love. Okay. They're not reversible. But God is love. There's an equation, that the essence of God is love, but also the scripture has a couple other statements in that equative statement or an existential affirmation, whatever you want to say. God is love, yes, but he's also spirit. Okay. He's also fire. Okay. A consuming fire. So not just a fire, but a consuming fire. So that's a reference to his holiness, other ramifications. And then light, the properties of light. Now, think of a laser. There is no combustion. There's just pure, with a plasma beam, there's just pure destruction because of the power behind the light. And I just think that if we're going to make a hermeneutic on a statement in scripture, say God is love, well, let's take all of the statements. God is good. God is merciful. God is just. God is holy. Let's take them all. Why do we think that love is going to be the supreme divine attribute? I don't think love, the way we're defining it, is the prime attribute. And actually, no attribute from our perception is the prime attribute, because we have no idea. We can't see the essence of God directly. All of these attributes, even his wrath and his love, are identical within the divine essence. Now, from our perspective, we have to make a distinction in reason. We have to, somehow be able to put our head around it, because the way we talk about God, first of all, is analogical. There's no way that we can come to the divine essence in a one-to-one correlation and speak to that. So anyway, I lost my track of thought.
No, you're right. He's also a refining fire.
Yeah, there's lots of these statements in there that love is not somehow the primary attribute by which we interpret all of Scripture. If anything, we should take God as being itself, that he is existence, life himself, and then interpret all of Scripture in light of that. What makes love the primary attribute? Now, for the Trinity, of course, there's that community. But I'm talking about as far as our, this hermeneutic method. It's almost like the love of God, quote unquote, has now become our theological method, and everything is taken through that filter, through our sentimentality and our definition of love as sentiment, like nostalgia, ooey gooey, even falling in love, man and woman, where there's no reason, there's no rationality. It's just these feelings. But people don't realize that love has a telos. And, my expression to my love for Tammy, if I were to misdirect that expression of love to another woman, number one, she would cut my thing off. But number two, that would be a misdirection of love. Now, I could claim love all I want. I just made love, to such and such dude. No, I'm kidding. To such and such woman. No, it's not making love. That's adultery. That's fornication. That's not making love. See, it's this sentimentality, this love for the sake of love in and of itself, without this telos of benevolent goodness, the good of the other, and not the good of self. See, the moment you talk about love, I think creaturely we see it as a selfish kind of love. You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I'm seeking my fulfillment. You complete me. Well, what about you surrendering and giving yourself in the love of another? That might include you never having eros kind of love. There's so much I could say about this. The problem is there's an emotionalism, a sentimentality to the kind of love that's being defined, and then that is used as a filter by which Scripture's interpreted, and it is a westernized, false view of a God made in an American image. And with that, I'll let you guys start.
He's also a judge too, actually.
Yeah.
Before that. And I guess the role of a judge is to uphold the law, whatever that law is. As much as he hates it, he has to have people going to hell.
Yeah, in regards to that, we talk about the antecedent and then the consequential will of God. And I might say that, antecedently, I love all dogs. But if there's this dog that's, a pit bull, I don't really like pit bulls. But if there's this dog that's a pit bull, very angry, just wants to bite me all the time, I can still say I love dogs and I wish that all dogs would be saved and go to heaven. But that doesn't exclude my consequential will that this dog deserves punishment.
Yeah.
And I think we've forgotten that.
Yeah, I was bitten about a month ago by a dog. Yeah, that's not a good experience. First time and last time.
Yeah, and in that sense, Aquinas puts it like this, in the sense that God is not willing that anyone should perish, but all men come to repentance. In the same way that a just judge wishes that all people obey the law, that doesn't negate his will of justice or his consequential will that if you come in as a lawbreaker, a heinous lawbreaker, you're going to pay the penalty. And in that sense, the judge is showing himself to be good and actually love by protecting the rest of society against somebody who's not using the good of the others as their supreme telos.
Yeah, he's doing his job.
Yeah, and it surprises me that people don't get this.
I mean, if a good judge did his job, then the prisons would be overflowing.
We definitely need prison reform here in the United States. But yeah, I mean, in the sense of doing justice, making sure justice is not prolonged. If the death penalty, for example, if we had conclusive evidence, let's say, we want to run DNA, we want to run all this, delaying and putting people on death row for 30 years, that's not stopping murder. The old way to do it was just, go out and hang the person.
Yep.
And as scripture says, justice delayed, the wicked are going to be encouraged by that. And preaching a gospel where there's no accountability, that you can still be a turd, just like everybody else. You can accuse somebody of stealing $800 and then turn around without an apology and pretend like it never happened. Oh, well, we really never accused Kenny of stealing $800. Yes, they did.
Mm-hmm.
And I've not a single apology. They may not have come right out and said Kenny stole $800, but the implications are still the same. They threw it out there, and they did it in such a way where they might be able to say, "Oh, well, we really didn't say that." To say something like, "Hey, Kenny, when did you stop beating Tammy?" There is an accusation in the question itself.
You were beating him in the first place.
Hey, Shep, how you doing, man?
Hey, Kenny, how are you?
Not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah, not too bad.
Y'all said something that kicked a thought off in my head, and I had to share it because people seem to forget. They get all, like you said, they get caught up in God is love, God is merciful, God is the great healer. He's the great carer. But they also forget that he is also judge, jury, and executioner in a justified way. And they forget he's all these things all at once, all the time. And it pisses me off when people put God in a box because they're doing the impossible.
Yeah, absolutely.
God is not just love. He is love. He is love. He is mercy. He is healing. He is wisdom. But he's also the carrier of the keys of death and hell. Because remember, when Jesus died, he went to hell and he defeated death and he took the keys to hell and he brought them back with him. That's why he's in control of them.
It's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living God.
Yeah, it is.
That's what Hebrews tells us. I think there's a real
my sins. I have nothing to worry about. Well, yeah, that's true. But if you get caught up in your ego and start exhibiting that in your daily life and your behavior and your words, then you fall into damnation and judgment that you don't want. See, they forget, oh, well, I've been forgiven, so when I go and I die, I'm good. Oh, but did you forget that you're going to be judged also?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
It's
amazing.
not just the sinners that are going to be judged. Oh, wait, we're all sinners. So every single one of us, whether we're saved or not, are going to be judged when we stand before God. The difference is if he wipes our tears away or not.
Yeah, the difference is you know, with all of the you know, all of the sins that we've committed, you know, when it comes to justice, man, we're all going to deserve hell. But thank God that right before the gavel falls, Jesus can stand up as the advocate and say, you know, and I'm not putting this in, you know, the son against the father, but in a real sense, the judge is also the one that paid the penalty. So it's almost like Jesus is on the throne and points out all of the sin that we've ever committed, but then says, I paid it all.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it. I see him like you see him in court. Oh, wait a minute. Excuse me, Your Honor. I paid for that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. The notion that the creator became a creature in order to redeem the creature that had fallen away from the creator.
Well, that's the
No
only way
other
it could have been
religion.
done. That's what's insane. That's what I can't get my head wrapped around, is that's the only way it could have been done. And if you look at the Bible, when Abraham was fixing to sacrifice his son Isaac, I mean, it was a test of Abraham's faith, of course. But I also can see it as God teaching us, hey, if you were to be forgiven of your sins, this is what it would take. A human being, not animals.
You know, Jonathan Edwards, the president of, was it Yale or I think it was Yale, by the way, who actually was the forefather of like a handful of presidents. So Jonathan Edwards certainly had a very godly and influential posterity that followed him. And now I was looking for something, totally forgot the point I was trying to make. But anyway, I'll get the point back. Gosh, I hate that.
You gotta give more than you take.
You know what? Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
I am quoting your favorite band there.
You know, it's funny.
The point I'm trying to make, you gotta give more than you take.
There you go. Hey, and there's Dave. How you doing, Dave? Hey, did you and Veckel ever, you know, kiss and make up? Because you know I love you and Veckel.
I just stopped by. I didn't know you were live. I just noticed you were live.
Hey, Dave.
Oh, cool. I love you and Veckel.
What
There
happened?
we go.
No, I don't like it. I didn't know you were live. I just hang on. I got this thing.
There you go. I muted you real
Yeah.
quick.
Anyways, Kenny, if you didn't mind, I had a few final questions.
Yeah, we can do that. As soon as everybody's, because I don't want to take
All
us
right, yeah.
off the
I know, I'm
topic
just-
here.
I know,
And
I'm just-
and you got enough. You've got questions that might need a dedicated program too. So
I know, I'm just letting you know now.
yeah, cool. Hey, Veckel, you want to come on in, man?
I got a question for you. Did sin come? Did the sacrifice for sin?
I won't put it by 22 so nobody steals it. I'll put it up here like, motorcycle for sale on it or something like that. And the big items like your boat or whatever you want to sell.
Oh, Dave's
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
I think Dave's on the phone. That's funny.
So okay, so sin requires the sacrifice of blood, according to Jewish law. When did that come about? Was it the sin that Adam and Eve committed, or was it the sin that Cain committed that caused that?
Well, when we speak of the fall is certainly it was accomplished in Adam. He, the way we say is he's our federal.
I hear nothing.
He's our federal. Hey, Dave, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I had a little bit. I don't know why I had the tab muted. I'm sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties here, and then I had a phone call.
Oh, that's all right.
All right, it's all cleared up now. I got everything working. So sorry about that.
Cool.
Hey, Shep, how you doing, Shep?
Hey,
I was
Dave,
just
how
looking.
you doing?
Was just looking at the radar, Shep. There's some
we've had-
thunderstorms around.
Yeah, we've had thunder, like a really loud crash of
Yeah,
thunder.
there's a
just
couple
like
little
20 minutes ago.
rotators. There's a little bit of subtle rotation in some of these too. So there might be like a little brief, weak tornado every now and then or something, but not really any big deal.
Yeah, keep an eye on that.
Yeah, they're coming my way slowly. I got one up here by Fall River, sneaking my way here slow. All right. Just wanted to say hi to everybody. I didn't want to change the subject.
Oh yeah, no, we appreciate you. Yeah.
I forgot what you asked me about Veckel. I'm just.
You're on.
Oh, just if you and Veckel
That's why we never
had
get to come in
straighten
and see
things
you.
out at all.
You're on 24/7, but you're not always there.
Yeah, that's right. I'm on 24/7. I'm not always there. Yeah, Veckel. I don't know. He. It's somewhat difficult to talk to a lot of people at times, but maybe we'll get another opportunity.
Garu lady has a question for you, Dave, about the
tornado. I did see that. That was a pretty strong tornado that hit that town up there to the north of Detroit, quite a ways up there. Where was that? I don't know where that is exactly. It's up towards. It's north of Detroit a couple hours, I think, somewhere along Lake Huron. There's some bay up there. But anyway, yeah, there's always the possibility of any storm to produce a tornado if you get the right ingredients. But anyway.
How are you doing, Dave?
Good.
Okay.
There
are those of us that are concerned.
Oh,
is there any truth to your health?
Yeah, because I had a test done one day. I went to the emergency room, and they told me this a while back already, and they wanted me to follow up on it, and I never do. But I can feel that. I can feel there's something going on, and I'm trying to figure out if I should. Like lately though, I have amplified it by drinking too much. I never drink soda, but for some reason I bought a whole bunch of it on sale, and instead of drinking what I normally drink, which is just water with a little splash of juice in it, that I've been drinking soda too much, and it's been just tearing my stomach up to pieces. And I never drink that shit. I just never do. But because I have it, I'm drinking it out, and it's no good for you. I'm glad I'm not going to buy it anymore.
Yeah, I was addicted to Pepsi for about 6 months.
Yeah, I'm drinking this cherry Pepsi, and I like the flavor, I like the fizz, but it's no good for me. I never drink that shit. I mean, I never drink it. You know what I mean? So I've been drinking this for the last few months now, and it's just making me ill. Maybe that's part of it too, but
yeah, that stuff that'll eat you alive from the inside.
Yeah, it's no good, man.
Not only that, your sugar's way up.
Yeah, it's terrible.
My mother-in-law died at 53 from drinking Pepsi. with
Yeah, I don't-
diabetes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to drink this anymore. It's doing something. I thought
Yeah.
it might
Cut
be
out-
that. Well, they did mention my liver something, but I didn't go follow up on it. But I do get these weird stomach issues that are kind of different than what they've ever been, But I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just not going to worry about
Well,
it.
see, I was going to say, Dave, that sounds like what I had an issue with back, oh, good Lord, about 6 years ago. It was real bad. I had stomach ulcers, about
Mhm.
5 of them. One was a good, what was it, about 5 millimeter?
Mm-hmm.
And it gave me a real bad issue. That's when they put me on that omeprazole stuff, and I had to change my diet. And that's all. That'll heal that up pretty good. Stay away from
Yeah,
fatty
and I'm
food.
not. I don't know why. I'm very disciplined usually, and I just, I don't know what. the
Yeah,
hell
just
I-
stay away from fatty foods. Get away from
Yeah.
the glucose and the gluten free. And
Can you cut the sugar out too? Some ways,
yeah, I
like
got to cut the sugar out. Not all of it. Just
Not all, no.
cut it in half at least.
And more than anything, drink a bunch of water.
A bunch of water with electrolytes if you can.
Yeah,
I
you're right.
recommend.
I got a
now,
bunch of
this
water.
is
Yeah.
everything, okay? Because everybody was warning me about this G Fuel hydration and the G Fuel energy. They're like, dude, there's lead in it, and I found out it's true on the side of the labels.
Mhm.
But then I started
Mhm.
doing some research. Just about everything you eat or drink is going to have a trace amount of lead in it. And that's just from the soil. And California made it a big deal with that Proposition 65 or something like that, that you have to label it that it has lead in it. So everything you eat and drink basically has trace amounts of lead in it.
Sure.
So
Well, potassium is in bananas, and that's a vital poison.
yeah, too much of it to kill you.
It's balance.
But
It's
in
just
small
life
amounts,
is balance.
potassium's
Yeah.
good for you. You just don't want to overdo it because you can get potassium poisoning.
Now, what about B17? Veckel mentions B17. I know that for me, like I'm working on the ADHD diet. I'm not able to as of yet because I still have significant withdrawals. But I'm working on like a diet that's best for my brain, and I know a lot of the B complex is really good for somebody like myself.
What does that do? What does B complex do?
It's amygdalin.
I'm not sure. I don't know anything about that
amygdalin.
stuff.
It's amygdalin.
I don't even know what that is.
I got a bunch of that.
Or
too.
late trial or whatever you want to call it. It's got a few names. It's the scientific names, like at least 30 letters.
Yeah.
Lay trial is a synthetic drug. Trying to think of what it. You can find it in fruits, like mostly the seeds. It's good for brain health, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of seeds are
it
good
is
for.
good. I have heard
Yeah.
that it's good for cancer.
I've read a lot about vitamins too, and there's always a side effect to some of that too. Like I was reading about B complex, and they said it wasn't good for something, and it's all that kind of stuff too. It is and it isn't, and there's all different. You know what? I don't really worry about that either. If I feel like taking some vitamins, I'll take them. But I don't particularly. I think most of them just kind of go right through you anyway. Whatever. I don't know. Maybe they're good for you.
And
I don't really know.
Depending, do you think you might need to go to the diet stuff, like the different ones without the sugar in it, but the sweetener? But be careful of the sweetener because sometimes the sweeteners are even worse than the sugar. But if
I was
you
reading
need,
up.
really
I was
want
reading
to,
up on it here, and they say it is dangerous and it's not effective for cancer.
Anyway, I'm just wondering if that might be there as an option.
B17.
I mean, a couple of years ago, Coke put out Coke Life, which had stevia in it, which is a more different natural sweetener. So maybe you can go to that as a sweetener.
Yeah, it's like anything. It's pros and cons. Anyway.
Yeah, but it's a natural sweetener. It's not like Equal or any of these other ones that the little pills you pop in your tea and your coffee, to sweeten it up. There are other ways you can do it. It does depend, but of course you've got to make the conscious decision to do it. Because I switched I switched from full
Something
blooded
you can do.
to the
Do you like
max.
licorice, Dave?
I don't actually. I don't like the black, the red one, of course, but that's no good. I don't eat any of it really. I don't like the taste of black licorice too much. No.
Oh, black licorice tastes like cough medicine.
Okay,
It's
Well,
terrible.
okay,
To me,
well,
it's not good. I know some
happen
people
to
like
be the
it.
strangest person on the planet, I guess.
My mom loves it. She just loves it. She can eat it like candy.
Oh, okay, well,
Oh,
from
I'm
now
a
on then,
licorice
good.
racist. I
There's
hate
a
black.
there's
It's
a
probably good for you though, huh? It's probably
it's
good
really
for you.
it's
Oh no,
that-
nothing, nothing
no,
black.
I was gonna
is good
say
for you.
there's another fruit out there called star anise.
Yeah, I heard of that.
You can take it and put it in your tea or
Mhm.
your fruit drinks or coffee or
They
whatever.
probably got it at Festival. That's that fancier store. We got a festival in Portage actually.
Yeah, or you can order it on Amazon. That's what I do.
Festival
and-
carries a few more products that most people don't. And they're a little higher price, but whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that's good.
I got the radar on live on my channel if you want to look at it, just in case you need to look at it. I'm watching it.
Veckel, the apricot seeds are apricot seeds. Excuse my language.
Apricot.
The apricot seeds is where they derive B17 from. Is what I was reading.
And you can, but like all things that are supposedly good, they do contain a certain level of I think it's cyanide. So eating too many of those, not a good idea either.
Yeah, my problem with eating apricot seeds is that they hurt.
Eating any kind of seeds is not
swallowing
recommended.
them, and then they hurt, especially on the way out.
I can't tell the way out. I have never had it in me to go, here's a seed, I'm going to eat it.
Hey, Shep, can you see to your southwest from your house? Southwest would be looking towards Stoughton. It would be looking, Rockdale's off to your southwest, a little bit to the right of Rockdale, kind of. I'm just curious what that storm looks like. It looks like it's wrapping up over there, just east of Stoughton, there on
I'll
B.
go run outside quick since I'm little. And
Yeah, if you look off to the southwest, just look way out there, and you'll see the storm. Keep an eye on that once. It's not going to hit you, but you might get a neat view of it if something goes down.
Be careful, Nikki could get sucked up into a tornado and you never see her again. What does she weigh? 80 pounds or what?
I can see the horizon. I can see the cloud break line. It looks like it's the back of it.
Yeah, see if it's real low to the ground if you can see it.
It is. There's some cumulus.
Yeah,
So
because
you
that's
suddenly
the
find
part of the
yourself in the
storm there,
bag of
just
ice.
east of Stoughton. Not that it's going to do anything, but if it does, that's where it'll do it. It kind of looks like
I can turn left. I can turn my head left and look straight out the window and see most of that.
Oh yeah, is it low to the ground? The dark?
Yeah, no, not really.
Oh, they're kind of elevated. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd say at least 3,000 feet. Oh, over that way.
yeah,
Does it look
That's
kind of mean. Ask her if it looked kind of mean.
yeah, well, yeah.
yeah. That's
Yeah, I'm looking at. I'm
That's
seeing
almost
some,
northeast.
I'm seeing some real weak. No, it's actually southwest of you.
Okay, she's looking
The one I'm looking
northeast
at.
though.
Oh, you
what
want to
she's
look to the
talking
side. You
about.
want to look right towards Stoughton.
All right, now, Shep, you're just showing off. Dude, I
Yeah,
couldn't
that-
tell you where northeast was if my life depended
South-
on it.
Yeah,
Exact same.
southwest we
I've
can't
seen it.
see.
I'm
I'll
not
bet
the one directly impaired.
Yeah, I've got an internal compass though.
Dude, I got lost in Disneyland and I have the total map memorized from the top down. But once you put me in the system, I'm lost.
Yeah.
I can't get lost. I really can't.
Oh man, I get lost in my house. Exaggeration, but I get lost in my neighborhood. I don't know what it is. It's like because there's no, or after a while, all houses look the same. I can't like grab on to the distinctives that tell me where I'm at. And for years it panicked me, but now I just stop, take a deep breath, and go, okay, I didn't just. Well, of course, I hope I walk into a time slip. That would be the most awesome thing that could ever happen to me. But besides walking into a time slip and going back, say 100 years, Wouldn't that be cool though? Come on,
No, not really.
walking through a time slip.
Not 100 years.
Oh man, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
I
In
would.
the future.
I
What you
have
wanna-
dream. I have
sorry.
dreams literally of like going back and meeting my family. Like I have this dream that I'm like my age now, but I'm going back to the 70s and interacting with my family members. I don't know why, but I have that recurring dream.
Watch,
No, I
watch
certainly
it. Don't
couldn't
stop
do
playing,
that.
Johnny. Be good.
Hey, I'm a time traveler. Tammy's a
I'd
time
beat up a
traveler's
couple of
wife.
people. I would change my past. I cannot be tempted.
I'm glad we can't go back. Actually, in all honesty, I don't want to go back.
My whole past would be changed, and I just can't do that.
You know what though? The thing is I read it in a book. It's like the moment that we wish
Oh wow.
that we could go back and change the past,
Where's that?
we're actually wishing that we didn't exist because the past is what makes us who we are. I mean, I've had issues with my dad, and I always thought, man, I wish I had a different dad. I wish I, didn't this, that. But I'm actually wishing my existence away because that's who I am. I get my soul spirit from my parents. I mean, I am who they are, and there would be no Kenny without them. And that's the free will predestination kind of a thing. But now I've confused myself, and I have to take a break.
Kenny, do you hold a compatibilist view of free will?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, Shep, you guys on Twitter or anything like that?
No.
No. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, my phone is unlocked now, and I can actually download the Discord app.
If you look toward McFarland and then just a little bit to the left, you'll see this thing real good.
Oh yeah, I got a.
It's not that far from you.
Yeah,
it's
about
like
it's about to spank us. Is what's about to happen.
you're about the rotation is only 7.5 nautical miles to your southwest.
I don't usually see it going north like that though. That's very unusual. Usually it's going like
It's just it's kind of like it's between you and Stoughton, but a little closer to Stoughton. That rotation, and it's moving north real slow. But you might just that thing might do something. It's kind of wrapping up there. We've had these situations where brief tornadoes have formed and done, just a little bit of damage. Not much, but it can happen on this kind of stuff.
last year a building got their roof taken off by just a random gust of wind.
It's it's just east of CN. You know where CN is?
Yeah.
Between Cottage Grove and Stoughton. It's riding right along CN just to the east of it there. It's moving north.
Okay, so that's past us already.
Well, that's not it's not really like it didn't go past you. It's just to the west of you. It's moving. This stuff's moving kind of an odd direction. It's kind of moving north, south to north.
No, babe, look, it's my map.
Is it like moving like a wobble?
Yeah, they do. It's
Okay.
but it's moving generally slow drift to the north. But I got a feeling that this one here might do something in a small matter. They'll probably just I don't know. They might put a severe thunderstorm warning out on it. They might not do anything, but that's just the one I'm watching. There's always something I'm watching, if I'm looking at this stuff. And that's the one I'm watching right now.
12 and 18 were good.
That I would be over there right now if I was there, like I'd be east of Stoughton filming this thing to see what it does.
12 and 18.
No, it's actually it's not.
Right where it cuts off.
Let me see, 12 and 18. It's actually no, it's not. Where's 12 and 18 go? Just out there? I don't even know. It's north of US 51 that runs east of Stoughton. The east-west 51. It's just north of there and just east of CN, and it's off to the southwest of I-90. It's on the other side of I-90. It's going to be. I don't remember if there's a rest area right there, or I think there's a way station right there. It's heading towards on 90. If I remember right, there might be a way station in that vicinity.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Sorry to disturb, and I'm sorry to just continuously pester like this, but can I ask my questions now?
Sure.
Awesome. So this one's going to be one of the final Trinity questions I'm going to ask you. And so hypothetically, what if someone were to argue to you, why couldn't the Father send himself? Why the Son?
That's an interesting question. And I would say that has to go back to the ontology of the Trinity. So if the Father is, for example, the mind, and then the Son is, let's see, the knowing, and then the Spirit, the willing, it's almost like asking to have my thoughts and my words reversed. It's like ontologically impossible. So within the economic Trinity, this is the way in the wisdom of God that he decided. Do I think that there's anything that compels him in a nature or essence? Possibly. But I don't think we know enough of the divine nature to really speak and say, okay, if the Son is, the logos, okay, that's the expression, the communication, the Septuagint, beautiful, NRK, in the beginning, God, Theos, created the heavens and the earth, and then you have the pneuma of God, and then God logos. So you've got the Theos, the Holy Spirit, the agio pneuma, and then the logos. So to switch the ontology of the relations within the Godhead, I think you got problems. It's almost like saying, how come I can't plug my wall into my computer? It's like backwards, I guess.
Sure, understood. Awesome. Oh, neat.
Whoa.
I mean, does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
I would argue from the ontology of what's been revealed to us.
Yeah,
I think human beings do way too much speculation. This whole multiple worlds where there's a multiple or there's a possible world where God can't exist, or doesn't exist. That's just ontologically absurd.
Yeah, sure. It made me think of Neb's example with the father being the cause and the Son being the action. Like the action would be primarily associated with the sacrifice.
Yeah, the East has a lot of, they approach it from relationship, the West from simplicity. So there's going to be a little bit of talking past, but ultimately we're all saying the same things for sure.
Sure. Remember how I asked how like
Babe, mute the mic.
What happened?
No, that's what I'm looking at right there. That's Southwest.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. Okay. I didn't even see you were on here. Let me make that bigger. That's nice. So you're looking southwest. See that? Those. Did you hear any thunder?
Oh yeah.
It's over to my right.
You see any? Yeah, you might see some lightning in that. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that little clear spot. Go left a little bit. Oh, that's not what I. Yeah. Just keep. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting little concept there going on.
Across the street.
Keep an eye on it. Yeah, you're in. Oh, look at that. You can see the base out further now. Yeah, there you go. That's where you want to look.
So are we going to see a tornado?
Doubt it, but these are updrafts pretty good right here at times. You never know. There's a little clear slot right there. So it's very weak. It's just rotating real weak.
And it's not doesn't look like it's going to be hooking.
Okay, so what are the conditions that produce a tornado?
warm, moist air at the surface rising into an unstable environment where it keeps going up.
All right,
It'll
I didn't
accelerate.
ask about how to bake a cake, Dave.
That's
Okay.
basically what it is. It's the ingredients warm, warm. It is like that though. It's kind of like you got to have the flour, you got to have the water. So it's all those ingredients: warm, moist, vertical motion, wind shear, instability, and the right
Yeah, but
wind
what
vectors.
causes the funnel? Is it a vacuum
See,
where
look
it
at that.
causes the
right
funnel
there,
to come
because
down?
you might get a little. You might actually get a little
Guys?
funnel right there.
Guys, I'm sorry to disturb, but I've got something up. Okay, quote. So you're just going to have to all bear with me. How a tornado is formed. Stage 1, storm development. Sunshine heat heats the ground, in which turns heat the air near ground level. Localized pockets of air become warmer than their surroundings and begin to rise. Where these warm bubbles of air thermals rise to sufficient height, shallow cumulus clouds develop. If the temperature in the surrounding atmosphere decreases rapidly with height, an unstable atmosphere, the warm bubbles may rise to much greater heights, resulting in the development of much deeper, stronger currents of ascending air. Updroughts and associated deep cumulus and cumulonimbus clouds, i.e. thunderclouds. Stage 2, storm organization. When the above process occurs in
I need to dry my phone.
When the above process occurs in an environment where winds increase strongly with height, strong vertical wind shear, the thunderstorm updraft may be. Is it still good? Okay. So the thunderstorm updraft may begin to rotate. This happens because the strong wind shear creates a horizontal spin in the atmosphere. The strong updraft tilts this rolling motion into the vertical so that the spin occurs around a vertical axis, in the same sense as the rotation of a merry-go-round. Thunderstorms exhibit persistent and deep rotation called supercells. There's 2 more stages. Stage 3, I'm going to hurry through. Tornado formation. Downdrafts within the supercell storm, descending currents, relatively cold, dense air help constantly rotate, bring it down to lower levels. The vegetation may become so strongly focused, a narrow column of violently rotating air forms. If this violently rotating column of air reaches the ground, a tornado is born. The tornado is often visible because of the presence of condensation, a funnel-shaped cloud which forms due to the much reduced pressure within the tornado vortex. Dust and other debris lofted by the intense winds can also help to make the tornado visible. Stage 4, tornado dissipation. Cold downdrafts eventually wrap around the tornado, cutting off a supply of warm air. The tornado typically narrows during this stage, and eventually the vortex dissipates. So, yeah.
Thank you for that. Here's Little Willow.
Little Willow.
Little Willow. And then, hold on 1 minute, Garu.
Oh, great.
These clues. These clues. There he is. Hey, come back here. He loves to play run games with me. These clues.
So, Kenny, do you remember how I asked you the question how you would depict angels, and the way you said is that they would be like moons refracting light off the supreme light that is God, as if participating in being. How would you depict demons?
Ah, wow. I'm gonna have to think about that. I mean, I would say in their being, in the sense that they are, because they are means that they're good and true. So in the sense that, okay, so to be is what we would call a universal. It means one, being, goodness, things like that. So even the devil himself is not completely corrupted, because to be is better than non-being. Sad to say the Buddhists are wrong. To be is better, even though Jesus said it would be better for that man have never been born. That's not Jesus saying that existence itself is less desirable, but in the circumstance of that individual and the heinous sin that individual did, it would have been better for that individual not to have been born, okay? Or even dying in the womb, where there would be no culpability. I think that's what we have to think that Jesus was saying, in the sense of existence itself is good. And now I forgot the initial question because my little granddog's trying to play with me.
Is that the George Bailey theory?
I'm not sure.
There's an actual theory that's been bounced around called the George Bailey theory. That's all about the story of A Wonderful Life and why he chose so seriously not to want to be born, and then it happened because his guardian angel or God said, "Okay, you're going to get what you want. You're going to see your life as if you never existed." I guess they call it something else, but
Yeah, that would be kind of like what if. And I think that the Lord knows these real potentialities that can take place. Not in the sense of this world where Kenny's not really Kenny, but there's an equivocation. We're going to call him Kenny. So I think within the world of possibilities, if I zigged instead of zagged, the Lord definitely knows what the outcome would be.
What about this? As you said that the angels are like obviously moons reflecting light. Demons could be moons that still have the capacity of reflecting light based upon the fact that they still participate in being, but these moons are darkened or
yes. Yeah, almost like not the exact opposite of a full moon. I forget what they, when we can't see the moon.
The dark side of the moon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, the relationship of the Earth's gravity with the moon forbids the moon to make a full rotation like the Earth does circles around when it rotates around the sun. So in a sense, because of torque, I think the force is called, one face of the moon is always facing us when we have barely any glimpses of the other side of the moon's face. Hence the dark side of the moon.
Yeah. Where let's say the telos was corrupted of the moon, it no longer spins, and so half the angels, are in the dark or whatever. Yeah, I think he could use any analogy. All of them are going to fall short, of course.
Awesome. I want to show a couple of comics because they have a few supernatural depictions of supernatural and essential entities, and I want your review of them. But before we do that, my final question is, how would you depict the third heaven, which is the spiritual realm that God indwells with the angels?
I think I would have to say it's kind of like a 12th dimension, but it still would have to be a created dimension, and only the triune God could exist transcendent,
Sure.
And I think that's all I could really say at that point.
Well, would you say wouldn't the abstract concepts be within the mind of God?
Yeah, I don't feel qualified a whole lot to talk about that because I'm not well read on the literature.
I know, I'm just making a few clarifications. So basically you're going to appeal to F theory and say that the 12th dimension, which is the hypothetical 12th and which is the second time dimension, where we would likely experience either psychological time or even find a quote unquote time square.
It's where quantum gravity and general relativity all come together.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. And there can be no 13th dimension because when math is done to try and examine the 13th dimension, things start to break apart. So at least there's room for one more dimension.
Right. And was it Ed Witten that solved the equations of string theory? And I think the next one that's possible is 26 dimensions.
That's I forgot the name of this.
M theory or
not M theory. The word begins with B. Basically it stipulates that there is Bohemian. No, not Bohemian. Hold on. 26 dimensions.
Yeah, I haven't read in that. I haven't done a lot of reading in this area. I'd say for about 7 years. so I'm behind significantly.
Yeah, bosonic theory. The idea behind bosonic theory, if I remember correctly, is that there is a secret force behind all 26 dimensions, and that accounts for reality. And unfortunately for bosonic string theory, I think the force, there was a failure of evidence to meet the criterion for it to be proven. So it would have to have been reduced down to at least 9 and possibly up to now 12, considering F theory.
Gotcha. Hey, real quickly, I'm not sure who Loving Christian is. I don't know if that's
It's
Andy.
Fixshade. It's
it's
either
Fixshade.
or Andy.
Okay. Tell him to leave. Well, tell him. Leave, leave Garu Lady alone. Yeah. These guys, yeah, Loving Christian and anything but loving. The hypocrisy is palpable.
Sure. Anyways, do I have your permission to share screen? Because
You have my permission to do anything you want, man.
Share screen.
I think I have it for automatic screen sharing.
Is this a Christian channel?
Can you?
Let's see here. I don't see it coming up. I usually get an indication. Oh, it's because we have 6 in here. So let me put somebody in the back real quick. Let's see here. I'll put myself in the back, actually.
Awesome. Oh no, because I wanted to hear Kenny's comments on the thing. Okay, cool. In fact, now he can see from the back, hopefully. So here we have. Is everyone able to see this?
Yes.
Awesome. So yeah, like I'm not going to go too much into information about what these entities are, but I thought of
excuse me, can I interrupt real quick? What is the comparison here?
Oh, I'm just basically trying to get Kenny's say on these entities that are in comic books, like his opinion of how these things would best depict supernatural beings such as angels and whatnot. So yeah, hold on. Here we go. So, and here's where it gets really key. Yep. Stop sharing.
I think I kind of see the connection, but I'm trying to still understand the comparison. Are you comparing the evil characters in comic books to that of angels and the
in a sense, yes.
And the heroes of comic books, as in the good angels, or God's opposite?
Well, sort of. It's kind of like me trying to bring up any supernatural metaphysical entity that are represented by fictional comic books and see how well they would compare to real life. And I thought of getting a scholarly opinion of this. So, Kenny, did you see the depictions, the comics?
Just very briefly, and of course, I'm on my iPhone because my iPad broke, but a whole another issue. I would like to actually look at those a little closer before I make any kind of statement about them, because I didn't get a chance to look at all the detail. But knowing your thinking, goodness, you haven't said anything that I disagree with or think is, kind of nuts, to be honest with you. I think you have a tremendous imagination that the Lord has given you, and I think you need to hone that and go for it, man, because you're going to be able to help people and give them visualizations of spiritual truths that I couldn't even hope to be able to put together. So, yeah.
Sure.
But I do want to say, let's see, Veckel says DC Comics just recently put out a Batman issue where he's now declared bisexual. Now, here's the thing. We all knew that Robin was gay. We all knew that Robin was gay, but Batman? Come on. Really?
Yeah, Bruce had way too many women.
Veckel, not to break it to you, but Wonder Woman has always been bisexual. Like,
that's true.
That's basically out of the question.
That's true.
Wonder Woman has always been bisexual. Like, think about it. She's been raised on Themyscira, dude.
I have to. Can I throw some input on this, Scotty? Being a comic book fan myself.
Go for it, dude.
Okay, so I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
To a degree, I think comic books are limited in portraying these types of beings for one reason, because it's human imagination. What they actually are, I think the best descriptor is what the Bible gives us.
Sure.
But being what they are, and being an artist myself, and having been taught in art school, the history of art and understanding what these artists have to do when they're creating these things, they're trained in certain ways, and so you see these depictions, like the one that you displayed where the two hands are reaching for each other, which is displayed as I believe it was Michelangelo, where God and man were about to touch. This is just, it's displayed in a lot of comic books and art, and and it's a descriptor in comic books over and over again. You'll see it in Superman comic books. You'll see it a lot in Guardians of the Galaxy books. You'll see it a lot in Eternals. They deal with these supernatural beings that are made up to describe what is missing in the universe in comic books, with these eternal beings such as Demon Sea, what is his name? Darkseid, and Dormammu, and creatures like this. And it's all based on ancient religions in a way, and our own in some ways, because anybody that looks at Superman can say that is definitely a Jesus Christ persona. So
hold on.
Something happened there, Shep. We can't hear you.
There we go. Like that person never understood Jesus to begin with. Please go on, Shep.
Okay. No, just and being Superman is personified as this Jesus Christ persona. One man come to save the world. He's got abilities that no one else has. He comes from another place. The lone son of Krypton. The innuendos are there. So,
yep.
But yeah, I think you're spot on with being able to use that. If you're using that to teach, I think it's a good tool.
Let me point out that Loving Christian, this is the problem, and this is the stupidity I'm here to fight. Less comics, more Jesus, please. What we're actually doing is we're using the vernacular of the culture and using the icons in the culture in order to communicate Jesus better to the culture. Loving Christian, you retard.
Yeah, kind of like what did Paul say? Like, I became all things to all men.
Yeah, like, okay, let's think about it this way. Like with comic books, and
that means he related to them. Sorry, Scotty.
No, Dory. Many of the entities depicted in comic books, like, think of it as like a modern day mythology. Back then, like, people were arguing who owned the Chaos Waters. Was it Baal? Was it El? Was it Moloch? Like all of these entities. And yet all of a sudden the Hebrews come out, the ancient Israelites come out and proclaim, no, there's actually a deity, a high god above all these other gods, an omnipotent being which not only owns the chaos waters, but literally created it and gave form and function to the chaos waters. The establishing of a cosmic temple, a temple inauguration that may be one of the key exegesis behind the Genesis account. But yeah, like, yeah, as Kenny perfectly said, I'm basically using a modern day theme, like modern day icons, as a way to reflect the nature of the ancient debate. But instead of using ancient deities, I'm using modern day deities because, like, it gives an interesting modernist take on this chaos waters debate. And also, like, with various entities such as Paralaya, Null, the anti-monitor that you would know from Crisis on Infinite Earths, these entities perfectly portray themes of chaos, like the chaos waters thrashing, and like the way I would depict them is absolutely being conquered by an entity they can never overcome, which is the God of the Bible, Yahweh. Like there is no creature, no entity, no concept or theme in either real life or fiction that can ever hope to overcome the King of all things. Like we're talking about an entity whose mere being literally establishes the concept of being. His existence establishes the grounding level of existence. Like his desires, like his desire for the ultimate reality that reflects his nature is far beyond the very concept of desire. Like I could go on all day. Like this is what I'm trying to do. And that's why I wanted to show Kenny and see what his words were when I showed him the depictions of these cosmic entities we have in the comics. While it is true, and I do agree with you to an extent, that human imagination is limited, especially when depicting certain cosmic entities, to an extent, there is still a theme of inspiration. And you know, the first entity I showed with the Final Crisis comic, which was the first comic I showed, that particular entity composed of bars and lines of light and of energy, the quote unquote true form dark side. I figured that particular entity was a very particularly abstract one that I think could be one of the stepping stones to which is where we could hopefully depict accurately angels and demons. Because like when you look on YouTube and this quote unquote biblically accurate angels, you have people who have literally taken the Bible literally again, but have applied Lovecraft to the designs, thinking, oh wait, this is an actual thing that has multiple heads, animal heads and whatnot, when in actual fact such things are actually talking about certain qualities the spirit has, like the bravery of a lion, the function of a man, the sight of an eagle, and the strength of an ox. Like it's this over application, but hopefully what I'm trying to do is not only apply an anthropomorphic thing, but also something that's very abstract at the same time. So yeah.
Sorry, this is Mr. Doozy. He is my corgi grand dog. And I know Garu loves the corgis. But this is Scrappy Doo. And he's corgi and chihuahua. But anyway, I'm not trying to kiss up to Garu Lady or to Scotty or anything like that. But I was thinking at the beginning of this talk, of course, you know, Scotty, we've talked quite a bit. I have a heart's desire to do a children's comic book kind of a thing, like, or just a children's book about this Theo the goldfish. But I want to do that one. But the more I'm thinking about it, how awesome would it be to put together a systematic theology, or at least some sort of just metaphysics, and put these, have Garu, as someone there to help us, her knowledge, Will Kincaid would be great, but to help me illustrate systematic theology in the vernacular of the younger people. I'm called to the generation 40 and under. And that's the generation of my children. We raised my niece. She's 32, 33, something like that. But I feel a tremendous call to, Scotty, your generation, and Boki. And you guys are really helping me hone in what my calling is. And for me to fulfill my calling, I mean, I really depend on others. I mean, I have my strengths, but dude, I stand in awe of, Shep, even though he's an old dude like me, but, of these young guys coming up. And I really think it would be great, for Shep and myself as older guys. I think Garu's 40-ish, but to really pull together multiple generations, fans, biblical people. I'd love to get Charles in here, Layman Seminary. He's a great guy. Just and try to put out. Even Dr. Geisler and I kid you not, Dr. Geisler and I were talking before he passed about putting together Aquinas's 5 ways in a short 100-page book with tremendous graphics in order to communicate to the generation the 5 arguments of Aquinas in a contemporary fashion. It's making me excited. So now my brain's going crazy. But this was something that Dr. Geisler and I were already talking about. I have permission to use everything he's ever said about metaphysics and to put my 2 cents in it. But to get this stuff in the context of comic books, DC and Marvel, oh my goodness. And think about what we could do for the Lord. And I'm telling you, I'm so excited about this. I would put all proceeds to whatever we decide as a group. If we want to put it into charity, or we want to put it into, my Aunt Ruth, she had a domestic a shelter for, battered women for domestic violence and stuff like that. How cool would that be to do a project totally out of our desire to serve the Lord, all of us coming together. It makes me very, very excited. And I could care less about money. So, I'm 100% in and donating all of my energies. And I believe those of you that, are at least in somewhat agreement with who I am and, my methodology, and Smokey and everybody else, we're just real people. We're broken people, but we love Jesus, and we wear our flaws on our sleeves. And this is really, really encouraging me, because I've been kind of down in the dumps. Anyway, I'm not going to get into all that crap, but anyway, this is really encouraging to me. It puts a shot in my arm, and I'm excited.
Well, Kenny, anything I can do to help promote the word of God, I'm all in for that.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Nice.
throw in something to M. Scotty. Something I've been thinking about for years was similar to what you're thinking about doing, or that you are doing. And I used the concept of Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. Here you have all of these gods and goddesses and demigods and demigoddesses and these half human, half, demigod creatures, and it goes all the way down the line. Okay. all of that can be blown out of proportion by one thing. Everything, a god in the book in the Dungeons and Dragons can make all the decisions they want to, but only one thing can override that: the dungeon master. And the dungeon master is basically God, the one God. He's the creator of the dungeon. He's the creator of all the creatures that go in that dungeon. He sets, the tone for it, the adventure. He's every encounter that you come across is created by him. Every god that makes a decision in the adventure is either the dungeon master lets it happen, or they don't. And that to me is always been a clearer depiction of who God was, because nobody can override the dungeon master other than the dice, but that's chance, and God doesn't deal with chance.
Yeah.
So I kind of leave the dice roll out of it, and what the dungeon master says goes.
That to me is very interesting, because look at our different perceptions. The way you tell God through your own systematic theology is that of a game master or a game creator, and the way I'm presenting him is through the means of a comic writer, or someone who literally fabricates a comic from virtually nothing. But
right.
Yeah.
Oh, I fully believe that God is an artist. I mean, you'd have to be to create something.
Yeah. And that's the common tautology of both our examples. It's a creator God, a supremely archetypal ontological establisher. He who grounds all things.
Both artist and scientist at the same time.
A scientist, mathematician, basically like a polymath. He's omniscient. He's he's all things. We could use all of these examples as long as it's obviously appropriate. Exactly. But by the way, we've been talking on, and Veckel hasn't even given
exactly what I was thinking.
Sorry about
well,
that.
He's black. He's second grade human being. But hey, Veckel, how you doing?
Wow.
Hey. It's better than the other word. Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Doing good, man.
Hey, Kenny, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
I was in a discussion with Ronan yesterday and the day before, and we were talking about I'll keep it short. He thinks that it's immoral for a Christian to have, and I think I've boiled it down to the word that I'm using. But I was saying that I think every Christian that hangs out with a non-believer of some sort has ultimately an agenda to see them come to know Christ. So apparently,
yes, I saw that. I or at least got a little bit of that. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Now, what I mean by that is that you're not out there Bible thumping on day one. The first time you meet the person, you're not Bible thumping. You're not, drowning them with a whole bunch of memorized scripture, or rebuking them every time they do something really, something, unbecoming of a Christian, let's put it that way. Right. But you still have that thing in the back of your mind that, okay, I just met this guy named Harry, and I would like to see him come to know Jesus Christ at some point in our relationship. So that's what I would like to see ultimately. But apparently he has a problem with that, and understandably so. He's an atheist who hates God. But I wanted to get your take on it as well. What's your thoughts on Christians having if there's a better word that you think is more suitable? Okay, that's great. But what's your thoughts on Christians having an agenda to ultimately, when they're hanging out with new people who are not believers, to one day preach the gospel to them or to see them come to know Christ? I'm not saying that it's the only thing that they want to hang out with them, because maybe you just actually like them as a person as well, but you do ultimately want to see them come to know Jesus Christ as well. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have no problem even calling it an agenda because if okay, let's face it, what is Matt Dillahunty trying to do with his followers? He's trying to get them to conform to his thinking, which is to believe as many true things as possible, yada, yada, yada. So even the atheist has an agenda. He wants to come in and he has his purpose for befriending me. And this is what love is. If an atheist actually believes that I'm in error, I would expect them as a human being, according to general revelation, natural theology, to have a concern for me if they think I'm in error. I mean, who in the world wants to talk to somebody who thinks you're stupid and going to hell, but it's not going to do anything about it or not wanting to share the truth with you? Who would want to even have a friend like that? So that's my opinion.
Okay, yeah, and I explained it to him multiple times that I would think that the Christian that's hanging out with the non-believer with the intent to see them come to know Christ is doing it for an ultimately and objectively good purpose, because they want them to have peace with God. And I just stopped taking him seriously once he started throwing in the word bigot, and he said, "Well, you're being bigoted, Veckel. You're being bigoted." I just stopped taking him seriously because he was all over the place, and
Yeah, ask him what his agenda is for coming into the room. Seriously,
I wish I
he
would have
has
thought of
to-
that yesterday.
there is a cause. We don't. You and I, especially, we're compatibilists, but we believe that all choices have a cause. God being the ultimate cause, but there's a reason. If we were to repeat everything about human history, we would have to say that the same things would happen again because they're causally related to what has preceded.
Right.
Is it not to convince other people that there is no need for God and that they need to follow their agenda?
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
there is no reverse fundamentalist greater than Dawkins. He wants to deconvert with the same passion that me as an evangelical wants to convert. I mean,
Yeah.
I did, door knocking for years until it became something that wasn't really socially acceptable. I did street witnessing. Well, until it was something that wasn't necessarily the best. People are busy. I don't want to stop them. But now it seems like the interwebs, the YouTubes, this is the way to do personal evangelism. That's why I'm here. Period.
Yeah. And it's also getting to a point where you have to ask someone if you can speak to them in the first place, to even say hello.
Don't get me started on some of these other peripheral issues.
Oh no,
Well, that's what I was saying about speaking politely, to a non-believer or even a person who claims to hold a belief similar to yours. I follow Proverbs 16:21, which talks about speaking, kindly. And I think basically what the text is saying, speaking kindly or politely will earn the ears of your interlocutors or the people you're speaking to. And we've all experienced that, right? You've had people who are more prone to listen to you or hear you out when you're more patient when you're speaking with them. But that's not always the case when you're preaching the gospel, when you're preaching the truth of the word.
Right. Yeah. It's controversial.
Yeah. Yeah.
And next question. Is it okay for a Christian to lose it with an unbeliever?
Well, they won't lose their salvation if they do.
No. You know what I mean. Like, they get you riled. Are you okay to go after them for riling and attacking you because they're doing the same thing to you?
You know what? This is what is my fundamental dilemma right now. It's because I'm attacking people that are so absurd in my, opinion. I could be wrong, but hey, attack me back. so that I know. But I just think this approach to like, oh, just going to pander to you. That wasn't Jesus's way. I mean, he called the Pharisees some pretty tough things, but he was dealing with religious hypocrites. Now, atheists, you will see that I deal with most atheists very cordially, a lot of respect. I've never gone off on an atheist or a non-believer, but I have gone off on people that claim to be Christians. And that's where I draw the line. I'm going to be extremely patient with you if you're an unbeliever and you're honest. But if you're a Christian and you're acting the fool, I think I have every right, especially in my calling, to put you in your place. I mean, you don't have to accept it, but I'm compelled to do this because this is what I see. And in the integrity of my heart, this is what I believe. Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I will purchase the bigger package for StreamYard, so I got to swap people out. But hey, Gavin.
Shalom. Good morning. Good Friday morning from New Zealand. I've just had a dazzling revelation. Just had a dazzling revelation, if you'd like to hear it.
Yeah, share it with us.
I'm just wondering if our agenda should to be always sharing the gospel, but only when absolutely necessary should we use words.
I certainly appreciate St. Francis of Assisi and that sentiment. And I would think that in a lot of ways, people have been won. Tammy has shared with me, it wasn't the things she said with people that were totally contrary to the gospel that she was working with in the law office. But once they saw the way she conducted herself, it gave her, an opportunity to speak into somebody's life. And in that sense, I think sometimes it's better to keep our mouth shut, but not totally shut, but just enough to show people that we, walk our talk in that sense.
Yes, sir. Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So, Mrs. Whitmire, she's one of my biggest fans, and I have quite an affection for her. But she's waiting for Thicky, the Loving Christian, whoever this is, to share the gospel. And they are more than welcome to come in. As a matter of fact, I will bow out in order for the Loving Christian to share the gospel with us. And then I'll come in and give a biblical scholar.
Well, Ken, Ken, I'm the black man, so if you need space, you could probably put me in.
No, it's the Australian. It's the criminal. Yeah, I'm going to kick the criminal out.
Well, that's what I said. Kick the black man. No,
there you go. Whoa.
No, he could have been referring to me because I'm the next villain.
I'm trying to beat Dave to the punch. Oh.
Why?
Oh.
Why don't Dave? Well,
Kenny,
sorry,
I'm Scotty. Kenny, I'll jump out to make some room for someone else.
Oh, well, we'll see if Loving Christian even has the balls to come in.
You have my permission, Kenny, to put me in the back.
All right.
Why are you focusing on all these guys when you could just kick the Brit out?
Well, yeah, but I have affections for the Brit.
Hey, you're not just some Brit. You're very different to every other Christian Brit I have ever come across on this whole system, shall we say?
Yeah. Hey, Loving Christian, the link's right there. It's pinned. Come on in.
Oh yeah, Veckel, as a fellow artist, what do you think about what me and Shep were talking about?
I missed a good chunk of that, to be honest with you. My daughter is
Oh, of
doing the
course.
usual. If I were doing a live stream right now, you would see me going to commercial breaks quite often because
I
my
see.
daughter. So I had to step away from the mic.
Sure.
But what would you guys say?
Basically, it's this idea. So you know how back then there was a massive debate going on over which group of deities owned the Chaos Waters.
Hmm.
Yeah, so you had
That was
Baal,
familiar.
you had El, and of course, the Israelites proclaimed that Yahweh not only owned the Chaos Waters, but literally created it as the supreme high god above all other gods. I figured, both me and Shep figured that, beg your pardon, is that you have these modern day depictions of deities and cosmic entities you find in comics like DC or Marvel, or in games like Dungeons and Dragons or even World of Warcraft. And we're thinking that we could take a modernist approach to the Chaos Waters thing, and instead of using the ancient deities, we use modern day deities, like as a modern take on the whole thing, as if one were to depict the three heavens cosmology.
Modern day deities, like which ones, for example?
Wait, sorry, could you specify, please?
You said modern day deities?
I mean like cultural icons, like entities you would find in fictitious comics. That's what I mean.
Like
okay.
say when they were arguing over these chaos waters, say the gods were, say from a Dungeons and Dragons perspective, there's all the gods and goddesses and creatures that exist in the mythology of Dungeons and Dragons. And then there's a group of people in the adventure that come along and says, well, we know one that's even greater than all of you. The one who created all of this, the dungeon master. Okay. And that's kind of the perspective that I have.
Okay. So I'm just trying to make the connection then, because you were saying, so would you be doing this with the other universes as well, like DC, Marvel, something like that, or
Correct. Just as in general.
So there will be so this is an idea that you're considering doing, or this is something that I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding what you.
I think M. Scotty could probably answer that better.
Yes, sorry. But yeah, as if like using these obviously cosmic entities to represent certain ideas in the art piece. So like, for example, using them to depict the Chaos Waters as entities that would embody certain themes and concepts like chaos and destruction and whatnot, being ultimately conquered by the one true God of the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually think the illustration of systematic theology in modern day iconology and mythology is a pretty cool idea. And I forgot about your gifts there, Veckel. Man, we could put together a really, really cool systematic theology in the context of Marvel Comics. Oh, and Loving Christian, we're waiting for you to join because just wanting to see if you can put, well, if your butt can handle the check that your mouth writes.
My hands are full trying to finish this current episode as well for now, and then I got another project that I'm dying to work on. Almost shortly afterwards, but so let me just make sure I'm understanding. So you have an idea about using these characters from comic books and current movies and stuff, but putting them into an original story where
not an original story, but more or less an art piece that depicts a cosmology.
Oh, okay. So you're not talking about making like a like a like a like an animated short or
No.
a script
Oh,
for a story?
yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
I'm still working on the art piece I was talking about with Kenny, but the reason why I've been on standby is because I've been like obviously extremely busy with my guardians and whatnot, and also a lot of work around the house. But now that a lot of my questions have been answered, I finally have like a very good idea of where to start and whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Again, I think Shep mentioned of 1 Corinthians 9:22. Become all things to all men, and I think I take that as a means to using different methods to reach different people, but with the same message. And one of the ways you can do that is by going directly through the culture.
Yeah.
And one aspect of the culture is that's going to reach people is through entertainment, like comic books and movies and stuff like that. So people see these familiar characters, that'll make it more. Okay, wait, what version of Thanos, for example, are we talking about here? Why are you guys talking about Thanos? You guys are Christians. Why are you guys talking about Thanos? But then they'll see, maybe they'll be interested in the story or the picture, and it may spark some interest or even a discussion.
Well, yeah. The way I kind of picture that, though, the way Paul was doing it, he said, "I become all things to all men." Is that like if he was talking to a group of mechanics, he would talk about God in a way that mechanics would understand.
Right.
If he was talking to surgeons, he would talk to them the way that surgeons would understand. If he was talking to children, the same thing, so on and so forth. I think that's how I understand what he stated by that. It's the same concept, using these to theme chaos and order.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think in a more specific way.
I think it's both. Yeah.
I remember that I just made a blueprint. And I've got it up right now. But before I do, what was it? What I want to say? Oh yes, Vekel, I wanted to ask you. You know the characters you have for your 12 series?
Mm-hmm.
Do I still have your blessing to use them in the art piece that I'm about to do?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
Cool.
Awesome. I have a lot of people using it. Well, not a lot, but maybe two people. One guy was taking the videos down and then re-uploading them on his channel, but putting Spanish subtitles on it. So I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah,
reaching a wider audience. But yeah, so yeah, Kenny, I've got to share my screen one final time because I think this can help people
go for
understand what I'm going for. Can you guys see?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. So let's start from the bottom. So yeah, like this is what I'm talking about with the Chaos Waters and all of these certain characters representing like this ocean of chaos, all of these entities. So like this entity, the anti-life entity, Paralaya, Eris, Null, Mandrak, Darkside, the Empty Hand, the idea of evil from Berserk, Pennywise, the Anti-Monitor, Unicron, and as you go up,
Unicron.
Yep. So yeah, that's the Leviathan, and that's Tiamat from Assyrian or Babylonian mythology. That also was summarized as the Chaos Waters, and also obviously the Leviathan from the Book of Job. And then obviously you have God grounding certain things like the forms, like abstract objects, and you have all of these things in which God literally imposes order on the chaos. So like, for example, you have Behemoth from Job, which is actually, even though it's meant to be like some sort of super ox, kind of like an Auroch, it embodies the entirety of animal kind. You have all plant life. But I used the entity you would know as Swamp Thing to depict. So yeah, like all of these themes and ideals. And once you get to the very top, so you have like scholars that represent the wisdom and knowledge. Obviously Batman being the world's greatest detective, being this embodiment of logic. Superman obviously being justice alongside the original Hebrew 10 commandments, being like a fountain that ever flows out. And obviously at the very top, you have he who grounds all of it, like he who established all, who created all of this and imposes his will, his power, his authority, his creative and moral edicts upon the chaos waters, not only creating it, but obviously establishing creation. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So what do you think?
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, that, by the way, that was a blueprint. So yeah.
Well, I was trying to come up with a funny hillbilly saying, but that really excites me. All of this, and I think we should bring Dr. Falk into it because he could really help us out in this.
Gold. He would be gold,
Yeah.
platinum, and diamond. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it really would. I mean, at this point, I would bow out and just let Dr. Falk take the lead, but I think I might have something to contribute to metaphysics, possibly. But yeah, I mean, and if I could say, I mean, Garu lady, she has my phone number. Please, 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 because you remind me of Tammy, you know, a woman in power and who can manage all kinds of stuff. I give you permission to like get on my case. And if you would pull the team together, let's really, see, let's talk about it. If it's feasible, if it's something we, could do, what are the benefits of putting together a systematic theology with a comic book kind of a layout and, everything. I think it'd be fantastic. Oh yeah, Dave. I'm as hillbilly as they get. I come from 400 years of Virginians and the last 200 or last 150 of West Virginians.
Hillbilly Zeppelin.
Is that like
Which
the
is-
Duck Dynasty, their friend Mountain Man? And Dave has a friend called Hillbilly?
No. It's a literal cover band of Led Zeppelin. They're a country band. And they call themselves Hillbilly Zeppelin.
Ah, yeah, but I know Dave has a friend called Hillbilly as well.
I would
Yes.
just like to
Yeah.
point out if his name was Robert, it would be Hill Bob.
Oh yeah, Kenny, you know how you were talking about Theo the goldfish, that metaphysical idea you came up with for children?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Hold on.
Billy is derived from William.
Do you see it?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. Let me see. Hold on. Let me solo that. Yeah.
So yeah, through the oceans of darkness.
Yeah.
This is a
Nice.
concept art I had. The cross shines the light through.
Yeah.
So yeah, automatically an appeal to divine revelation. But I thought that over time we could add on the metaphysical stuff, obviously as a symbolic gesture to systematic theology being applied to help add to generalistic revelation. That not only scripture is key to reaching God, but also there's a philosophical side of things. So yeah.
I don't want to be, gay, but dude, I'm almost tearing up over the fact that you guys have enough confidence in me and the ideas that I throw out that you would spend a nanosecond of your time on it. And that blesses me beyond any imagination, and it encourages me. And gosh, I love you guys and those of you that see something in me that's, I don't know, Christ-like, because I don't see a whole lot, but I'm getting verklempt.
There we go. Reapply for tape.
Well, Kenny, I'm gonna head out. I mainly came in to get your take on the issue of evangelism and Christians having an agenda. I wanted.
What's funny is I didn't see a whole lot of your stream, but I
Mhm.
totally saw that, and I remember it for some reason.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I
God
haven't
might
met
be sovereign after all.
Yeah, might be right. Yeah, when it comes to atheism, I can respect them, but I can't respect their views on morality. Particularly Ronan, when he says that me wanting to, Christians wanting to hang out with somebody so that they can have peace with God, and through the preaching of the gospel. When he calls that bigotry and tries to align it with something immoral, I've just he loses all credibility with me, especially with taking the position of morality being subjective. It's really, really difficult for me to take someone seriously like that in a philosophical discussion. But I haven't heard from anyone else that disagreed with the position that it's okay to want to hang out with somebody with the intent to see them get saved.
Right.
So-
I mean, and let's put it in the most crass manner. Is it not the desire of a young man to hang out with a young woman? Is it not to fulfill his more fleshly desires?
Yeah.
I mean, truly. I
That's an
mean, that's
agenda
what.
for you.
Yeah. I mean, I had an agenda. I saw Tammy, and it was like, wah wah woo wah. God, if you give me that woman, I'll preach the gospel throughout the world. I mean, totally. I mean, that was my deal with God, and it was like, hey, for a hot woman, Lord, I'll go be a martyr.
That's true.
Well, he predestined that you would say such a thing, so he set it up. So it was all rigged. Your whole marriage is rigged.
Exactly. And
want
you know
that
what's
one.
funny is Tammy will say, well, God made me marry you. I didn't really want to.
Yeah, that sounds like my wife talking. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. They'll throw it right back at you.
I said, you're the
like
illogical
the
one.
way
because
Frank
you're married.
Hey, she's 2% black. What can I say? She's sassy. I saw a
like the way
shirt.
Frank
I
Turek
was
puts
looking
it. It's
for
rather
I was looking
hilarious.
for it for Tammy. Literally, it said the sass is strong with this one.
Oh, nice.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny.
Multiple
Yeah, my
times
wife-
I've asked her if we're in the South because I hear way too much sassafras.
My wife is definitely sassy to me sometimes too. So could be a little annoying sometimes. But
Yep.
Oh, it drives me crazy at times.
yeah.
I have my own little area out in the driveway to break things. That's where I go.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got a punching bag now in my basement. So
You really have to.
Oh.
I didn't know that. A little bit of transparency. I didn't know that you weren't supposed to inflict all that anger and stuff on yourself. Because if I couldn't express it outwardly, I thought, well, I got to express it inwardly. I
Mhm.
never knew that there were healthy ways to express your anger. And I'm like 2 weeks into the whole thing.
oh yeah. In fact, it wasn't until 2016 when I realized that instead of taking supplements or creatine to give me that boost before I go to the gym, all I had to do was just watch a bunch of Antifa videos to get me going. That got me pissed off, and that would get me straight, get my blood boiling and get me wanting to work out in the gym, and works every time. So
it's amazing how we can do that to ourselves, huh? It's like we just have to focus, and we can make our response what we want from anything to. Well, I don't know what I'm saying now, but it's amazing how we can do that.
Yep. It's healthy, and because you take that creatine or whatever, you eventually get it, accustomed to it, and it doesn't do anything for you anymore. So I just I just stopped taking it because it didn't do anything for me. I think most of it was just placebo, but so I just stopped taking it. But watching videos of leftists saying stupid stuff, that always works for me. So
meme the left, memeing the left.
Go to the United Spot. They do absolutely brilliant cartoons of the left. There's a whole bunch of channels. There's a Liberal Hive Mind. I subscribe to him. He's hilarious.
I need to watch something that's fresh from the left, not something that's ridiculing the left, because then I'll be
they ridicule the left and the right, dude.
Okay.
Not like they let them off.
Okay. I'll take it. Yeah, sometimes it's either Antifa videos or watching some clips from The View with Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg. Can't stand those two. So,
no. But before this goes too far ahead, I like the way Frank Turek puts it when he met his wife. He says, in a momentary lapse of judgment, she said yes.
All right, I'm coming. All right. Well, it's good talking to you guys. Thanks, Kenny.
Yeah, man. All right,
I'll
man.
talk to you guys later.
Have a nice day, Beck.
Yep. Bye-bye. Hey, is Will going to come in?
I don't know. I thought I was in the doghouse. No, I'm kidding.
No, you were in the ADHD house where I totally forgot you were there, but not in a way that I told Brett Keane. Oh, Kenny, I forgot you were there.
Kenny, as a scholar, do you have any critiques of what I've been showing and demonstrating and whatnot?
I don't know if Veckel wanted to come back in here to say something or not.
Yeah, real quick. My daughter saw that I was leaving, and she said, "No, wait, I want to say something." So go ahead and say what you got to say. They don't know. Okay. She's saying bye, Chip. I don't know what that means, but she always likes to say that before I leave the room. Can you guys hear her?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you humans, you have the cutest children.
Okay. All right. That's enough. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
There's my buddy.
Is that your emotional?
Buddy,
is that your emotional? Is that your emotional support dog?
It's my dog. Fucking Kenny loves my dog, so I thought
I do. I do, man.
Say hi, Mr. Dog.
Look at how cute he is.
Yeah, but or is it a yappy one?
It depends.
Yeah, but check this out. Look at what I'm looking at.
This
is Mr. Doozy. Mr. Doozy. Meet Mr. Duck.
It's Doozy and Duck. All right, fine. He doesn't want to be on camera anymore.
Aw, Mr. Ducky. I look at pictures of him from time to time because I really love that little guy.
Who's the loving Christian?
I'm getting old. I'm getting old. I'm sorry.
Who's the loving Christian? They were talking to me and then they got blocked or something.
Yeah, the loving Christian is mildly irritating to me, so I didn't block them. I just put them in timeout for 300 seconds.
Who are they?
I don't know. Like Smokey always said that it was he would fluctuate between that's Andy and that's Thick Shades.
Oh, you don't know who it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's one or the other.
Just out of it. I don't actually think it's either of them. I think it's somebody who gets off on the fact that we assume that it's one or the other. to be honest. That's my pet theory.
Ah, there you go. Not bad.
But yeah, Kenny, like as I asked, do you have any critiques?
You know, not right off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
you're a dick.
What?
That's my critique. Oh, Kenny. He was talking to Ken. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, not me.
Oh,
yeah,
wait,
we all
so
know
I-
that.
so I'm
Tammy'd
the
be the
dick.
first one to say that, but
I'm the dick. Wait. So
Yeah,
No,
you know,
not you, me.
Bellend, knobhead, you know.
it's not
Yeah,
you, it's me.
wait. So Will, was that you getting back at me for calling you a furry earlier?
Oh, I completely forgotten about that. Remind me
Oh,
to ruin
no.
life later.
Will is queer as a $3 bill.
I fucking hate you, Kenny.
I've
Stop.
seen him right up close. As a matter of fact, I got a video
I've
of
smelled
two
Kenny
very
up
big
close.
fairies.
He
Two
smells
very.
like
Are you under talking me again?
hippie juice.
I have a video of two big fairies. It's in one of my shorts. Hey, Will, do you
Patchouli
notice that,
oil
that my
dog
shorts
turd.
are getting
What?
like thousands of views? Did you
Yeah.
see that?
I'm aware. Yeah, they're mostly of my dog, but yes.
Yeah, and
I'll be back.
yeah, and I told you.
Let's hope.
You and Mr. Smokeman, who you killed, by the way. I'm still a little upset, but not really, because I had a pleasant drive home without
He'll
him.
be back in the sequel.
Whatever.
Still waiting for that buyout from Disney.
Sure. Uh-oh. What happened to Dave? I just tried to put him in there, and then he disappeared.
He
He
said,
said that he'll be back.
Oh, okay. Have I told you all how wonderful Mrs. Whitmire has been to me? I mean, her son is a
Millions
real
of times.
douchebag.
Millions
the
of times.
tragedy of Darth Plagueis, or Darth Smokey the Wife.
Yeah. Have we seen that? I think
Yeah,
so.
and the legend was told to us by Nox decaying testicle.
Yeah, so update on Knock. We're not fighting anymore. There's nothing I could possibly take from him, to be honest, that life hasn't taken from him. So I've just taken my laurels and I've just had a nice seat on them. And we're not gonna be civil, but we're not gonna be hostile. It's just gonna be neutral.
Oh,
Okay,
sounds
so-
like a marriage.
About it.
So no more
Sounds like
jokes?
Tammy and I.
I don't know how to not make a joke about Knock, to be honest with you. It's gonna take some adjustment, but
So what
yeah.
you're saying is you can't help but tell a knock joke?
I had some really offensive jokes in mind. Some really gruesome ones.
There's no way you can ever top the antics of me and Smokey.
I've got a few.
And I know that that's factually accurate because Gilbert Gottfried's deader than fucking Jesus. So unless you're a necromancer.
No, Jesus rose from the dead. Come on now.
I said deader than Jesus. So there you go.
Oh,
guys
okay.
keep
So
doing-
you're using the
I
aorist
listened to-
tense.
I said he's deader than Jesus, and they go, Jesus isn't dead. And I go, yeah, deader than that, dumbass. I love it when Christians get offended by that. It's
Yeah.
like, Jesus isn't dead. Yeah, no shit. All right, fine. It still works. It's still funny.
Okay.
still
Yeah,
works.
you're right.
Because if
You're
Jesus
right.
isn't dead, he's still deader than Jesus because he's actually dead.
Ah, there you go. I'm not very bright.
Will
No,
Kincaid.
most Christians apparently aren't. No offense to y'all, but it flies right over you guys' heads.
That's a
Sometimes.
bold assumption.
R
Will,
/ whoosh. What?
did you check out the Dick Titten video I posted in the secret hideout? It's all about milk. It is
you
all
some
about milk.
dairy.
You're gonna sit back and laugh.
No, I'm gonna have to.
Oh, it's so weird. Please don't.
You know, it's
It's
supposed to rain
Ramstein.
tomorrow.
It's Ramstein.
Oh, okay. I have to. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself tomorrow because it's supposed to fucking piss it down all day, and I'm hoping that it doesn't. But I might be streaming out in the middle of a fucking torrential downpour in my mud hut in the middle of the woods.
Oh,
So I
oh
don't
yeah.
know.
Before, yeah, I'm actually about to go, nearly about to go, but yeah. So Will Kincaid, for like the email thing, like what information do you want me to send you? Like,
Please do not send nude pictures.
no,
If
not
you have a
anything
dick
like
pic,
that.
that's cool, but I don't need it.
No, I mean like for
Yeah,
secret hideout thing.
Mrs. Kincaid.
Whatever
I can't do it.
whatever you're comfortable sending me in terms of what you're talking about, or just
Like-
leave it at that.
Like just personal, just like some personal data stuff like that to join the secret hideout.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Okay,
I
cool.
I don't
Secret
need- I don't-
tattoos, DNA.
Like I said, I would let Kenny join, but even if I invited
Well,
Kenny,
it's not that we don't trust Kenny; it's that we can't trust Kenny.
Oh,
Yeah,
here's the thing.
unfortunately,
Here's the
Kenny
thing.
has this innate ability
Tammy-
to accidentally
Tammy-
dox everyone, including him fucking self. Let's not get into it, but
You know what?
Yeah, like I said.
Hey, you know what? I lay in the bath and do a lot of these, thoughts that come up. I am scared to death that I might hit the wrong button and
Yeah.
show my penis.
I know.
So I know what you guys are saying.
I
now.
trust Kenny not to do anything on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. On purpose being the operative word there. But yes.
Like
So-
like I said, it's not that we don't trust you, Kenny. It's that we can't trust you. By the way, it's been fun.
That's
It's been
fair.
awesome. Yeah,
Totally fair.
it's been fun. It's been
Just
awesome.
just so everybody is clear. on
He's
my
trying to say
standpoint-
goodbye. Stop cutting him off.
Well,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scotty.
No, you go ahead, Shep.
Just so everybody's clear, I am okay with Kenny being there. It's just that I have appointed Will my keymaster, so you have to go through him to get in the room.
Right.
I don't trust myself, to be honest, because
I love
I'm
you,
not
Kenny.
really the most. Well, here's the thing: people with, and you know this, living with Nikki, we are not the best liars because we can't cover up our tracks because we don't remember where we were. So we very innocently make colossal mistakes. So I get it.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, you're more than welcome, except for if you can't trust yourself not to go telling tales accidentally, even outside of school, probably not a good idea. Besides,
Yeah.
if there's anything important, I tell Kenny anyway. Just text him.
Yeah. Hey, and let's just be transparent here. Tammy just came home, but I'm afraid that I might have unintentionally showed a booby pic that she sent me in the scrolling underneath one of the videos I did, and I'm trying to find it.
God, you're an idiot. Okay, bye, Scotty.
All right, okay, yeah, cool. But yeah, one more joke before I go. So yeah, for Will Kincaid. So one final knock joke before we enter
Yes,
into
that is
neutrality.
my full.
Yeah. Knock's leg looks like an Indian burial ground.
Jesus Christ!
All right, love you guys. Good night.
Is Lord. Have a good night.
Oh, Jesus is Lord.
These young people.
I did basement
Yeah.
dweller. I don't know. I have to look. Basement doesn't know we're here. You know what's funny is I was in the secret Discord rage posting about how much I fucking hate specific people, and nobody was responding, but it looked like everyone was online. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? And then I switched over to the Cone Club cult, and I see the Kenny streaming, and I look and I'm like, literally all the cult members are here. So yeah.
Mhm.
Hey guys, Mrs. Rhodes just walked in the room. What should I
Hello,
set her
Mrs.
up
Hey,
with?
thanks for the weather report. Shipped
Yeah,
in.
well, she called me a narcissist the other day.
Oh no, because you are.
Oh,
I'm gonna get
sassiness.
Mrs. Rhodes a
There you
big
go.
stick to turn
see,
you over.
guys, the sassiness is strong with this one.
Well,
I told-
who's sharing information? You
All
are
right,
a
so what kind of questions would you all like to ask Mrs. Rhodes?
Yeah,
right now
how do
that I
you
have a-
handle that fucking cringe factory you call a husband?
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
okay.
like creeping way into my hypersensitivity right now.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
can you not squeak the fucking. What are you doing?
those are our puppies. I've got what, two grand dog?
Wait,
No,
can,
three
can
grand
you
dogs.
can you tell them to use like jazz fingers or something so that our autistic friend here doesn't get triggered into full blown epileptic seizures? Jesus Christ! You're
Yeah,
like
we're
Smokey and the Birds. I I made him kill all of those birds just because it was pissing me off.
I know, I remember that. Oreo. Okay, so
Can you go into the bathroom and like shut the door?
yeah, I can do that. Okay, come here,
Okay.
honey.
I don't want to be recorded.
No, you're not being recorded. You're live.
Wow,
Memorex.
you are shitty at lying.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so
No, you're
the
not being
people.
recorded. You're live. Oh yeah, that really helps.
Well, you know. Okay, so everybody wants to know how you can put up being married to me.
Grace of
The-
God.
The grace of God.
The grace of God. That's a good one.
All right.
I like that one.
All right, I got to leave the room because I'm getting in trouble, guys.
You're sharing. You're sharing the meds, I guess. Just
Okay, I've got to ask. Okay, so I think well, Tammy knows that most 90 and up women love me. Okay, so Mrs. Whitmire here, honey, she's about 110. She asked the question, how did you get so lucky to find such a handsome husband?
My sister set me up, I guess.
Well, well, I was a blind date, and luckily she was blind, so.
you know what? My wife got the same question once, many streams ago, where she was when Lo was still hanging around, and somebody asked her, "How do you put up living with me?" And she goes, without missing a beat, she goes, "He's got a big dick."
Oh my goodness. Tammy
Because
would
my wife
never
is chaste,
say anything like that.
because it would be a lie and she doesn't want to bear false witness, or because she's just a saint like that and wouldn't tell tales outside of school. That's what I thought.
It's very hard to lie if you really just want to tell the truth and get the truth out there. Just
You
gonna say that
see,
one.
No,
You
see,
see, I
where
don't-
I come from, y'all are just asking for an ass whooping. You need to keep your mouth shut about what they think and what you think about them, and just let it ride.
yeah.
Hey,
See, I don't have-
can you guys see how I
right.
get in so much trouble though? For reals.
Yeah.
I have no
yeah,
filter.
because you're a cringe factor.
I have no filter.
You're just up there cringing away, just
Yeah,
saying.
well.
And I give you props. I mean, you do it well, but like, you see, this is why Kenny was not allowed to meet my father. My father was nowhere because, first of all, Smokey would have killed himself on the spot right away. But my dad is exactly like Kenny, except for I talk to Kenny more than I talk to my real dad. So,
I'll take that as a compliment.
yeah. So, but if I got both of them in a room together, the universe might actually implode in on itself like a neutron star dying out there in subspace, you know?
Matter, antimatter, maybe?
It just
Situation?
no, we're talking black hole style. Like we hit critical mass, the sun actually becomes so dense that it collapses in on itself, and yeah. It's like-
You guys are starting to give me a complex. Just saying. Yeah,
just
now
like-
it comes to pass. I mean, let's just say, Will, you didn't kill Smokey. Smokey committed suicide because he couldn't handle the thought of driving back to California with me.
Well, there's a reason that he drove the entire way back.
It sounds like you guys have been talking.
Well, we talk.
posthumously.
What do you mean? What do you mean talking? We talked past tense. He
Freudian
got
slip.
home and he's
Freudian
like-
slip. I'm sorry.
He's like, oh God. It's okay though. You know what? You're endearing in short bursts.
I
I
I
hope
come
this
by it
doesn't impact.
honestly.
I hope this doesn't impact you. You know what? You know what? When you come up here, when you come through here this summer, I'll let you meet my dad, and we can just end all of the suffering in the
And
world.
all the sibling rivalry. rivalry.
No, that wow, gross.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, the problem is, you know, I might be your dad. He might be your dad. We don't know. Because apparently we're cosmic doppelgangers of matter, antimatter.
no, he's not a Christian. He's an atheist. He just never stops talking.
Oh, wow.
Ever.
Neither do I.
He just keeps talking, and it doesn't matter if you're listening or not. He will pretend like you're listening. It's a real problem.
Oh,
a real
well, I've
problem.
just learned to just take it in on myself. Hey, they don't like me. I don't like me either. I'll
Like a
talk to myself.
binary star system feeding off the gravitational force of one another. Like
Well,
Exactly.
well, then I think you know where we'll get you back there.
Sagittarius A star, right? We just learned something about it from the Webb telescope.
I was thinking more Tatooine, but sure, if you want to be boring about it, why not?
No, this is real science, man. Look it
I
up.
know it's real science, but who gives a shit? Oh, speaking of Tatooine, did you see Kenobi is tomorrow?
Yes. Now, is that
On the
tonight
pirate-
at 12 or literally tomorrow?
I don't know. I'll probably have to watch it tomorrow because I'm going to watch it on the Pirate Bay Plus. So
Oh, well, I'll give you my password so you can.
no, I don't want to give those bastards a dime.
Nah, well, hey, think about we're cutting it in half. I'm paying, you know, $3 and whatever.
I wouldn't give those kitty diddling baby rapers 1/2 of a red cent. Just saying. Oh, did you see that those fucking idiots lost they're no longer an independent government? Disney World in Florida? I didn't even know
No,
that
I
they
didn't
were,
see anything.
I didn't even know what they were, but apparently old Walt signed a deal with him with the government of Florida back in the day. And they were like, yeah, but we want to have our own laws and be kind of like a state, but technically not.
Oh, the
And they're
Vatican.
like, basically, yeah, it's the Democrat Vatican. So
that makes sense.
they don't get to do that anymore. So that's cool. Because they were like, we're going to tell you how to run your own government. And DeSantis was like, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah, I got a lot of
Hey,
time.
guess who has two thumbs and actually runs Florida? This fucking guy right here.
Yeah, I got a lot of time for that guy. He is like brilliant. He should be president.
He's wonderful, and he will be president one day. Mark my words.
I hope
He's
so.
the first governor
I
of
hope
Florida
so.
not to take a bribe from Disney.
I know he doesn't care. He doesn't care. That's how I know he wants That's how I know he wants the Oval Office, or as I like to call it, the Oral Office.
He
On
tells
account of
us where to go, and he's not afraid of the consequences.
Nah, he doesn't give a shit. He's just.
Nah.
He sent him an email with directions on where to stick it.
He's a mini Trump. You don't care.
Yeah. Well, in a lot of ways, he's better than Trump because
yeah, but
Trump
I mean the
is-
attitude of like, I'm going to do what I want. I know what I'm doing is legal, so just get out of my way.
Yeah, he's one of those, and I appreciate that.
He's building them the basement for their nursing home for all their people when they
I
need
hope
to
he
send them there.
I hope he builds an actual Death Star that just hovers over Disney, and it's just got a big laser just on the side. It just says eat shit on the side of it.
And whenever they start putting themselves out of line, they start lowering the layers there, and then they go, whoop, we better go.
I hope it changes the tides and the gravitational pull of the. He's gonna build a giant battle station in space. It's gonna be great.
Now that would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious, and you know what? Trump will fund it. We're gonna make the Mexicans pay.
Once they build the wall. Once they build the
That was
wall,
a good one.
We're gonna build a giant space station, death laser in space, and we're gonna make
It'll be
the
huge.
and we're gonna make it look like a
Gonna be a-
moon. Except
gonna
We're
it's
gonna
gonna
make
be a
the
moon.
We're
Best
gonna make the Clinton
space
Foundation
laser
and Bill Gates pay for the fucking thing.
ever made.
Elon
Best
Musk.
space laser. Do you know those people that build those space lasers? They're the best. They're the best.
Space Force. We're gonna give them white helmets. It's gonna be great.
First of all, we have to figure out how to survive in space.
They'll never hit anything.
Yeah,
They'll
solar
never.
radiation's a bitch.
Isn't that
Yeah.
that Van Allen belt?
The Van Halen belt? What? Is any
The
up
Van
there?
Halen belt,
Oh,
dude.
man.
Yeah, the Van Halen belt. We've never been to the moon because of the Van Halen belt.
Eddie Van Halen, dude.
Is
Yeah,
that near
well,
the
Fucking
Is
stop
that near the
humping Jay.
Nugent Nebula?
Will, you're close to blasphemy. Watch it.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Gotta get that one in there. Gotta have Eddie Van Halen on the record. But we gotta be good players before we get Eddie Van Halen.
We're gonna hire Sparrow. She's gonna hack the phones and transfer all the money directly to my bank account.
We
And
call
we're
it
gonna
HTML5.
yeah. It's a whole new coding language, never been done before. It's
Brilliant. Genius.
Listen, I wouldn't be talking shit about Sparrow if she didn't come over into my comment section and poke me. Because I don't have anything nice or mean to say about Sparrow because I just don't care. I find her to be a boring human being.
You don't think I like talking. Talking's nice.
You like talking, but at least you're like fun to like play off of.
Yeah, talking's
like,
nice. Yeah. That's nice.
You know, yeah. That is kind of how it is over there. Like Olive will be
it's total the delicious dish from SNL.
She like talking about stuff or something and like reading scripture or some junk, and like then she'll stop and she'll be like, "What do you think, Sparrow?" And she's just like, totally, yeah, I agree. Yeah. Like, have you ever watched the 700 Club with that old guy who literally looks like a fucking 200-year-old chimpanzee?
Pat Robertson, my boss. Yeah, thank you very much. Regent University president. Thank you, Will.
Isn't his wife named Gail or something?
Just keep digging, Will. Keep digging.
And then she just goes, yeah. He'll say some ridiculous off-the-wall shit about bonus buckets or something. Like the food storage gimmick. And then
I'm saying that metaphorically. Please don't keep digging yourself into a hole.
We interrupt this program that Martians have now invaded planet Earth. This has been a fictional retelling of this.
Leviticus is some fucking garbage I just made up. Yeah, sure.
Dig across, Will. Dig across.
I don't know.
Is that guy really in charge of reasons? Is that really him?
No. Regent University. Oh no, Dr. Hugh Ross is a genius at the finest level.
What the hell does Pat Robertson or whatever the hell his name is have to do with your employment?
Well, he is the president of Regent University, of which I am an adjunct with.
So I can't say that he looks like a fucking chimpanzee.
It's like a company having a sister company.
Yeah, I
racist,
teach for Regent under the auspices of Reasons to Believe because Pat Robinson thinks Pat Robinson thinks that young Earth creationism is stupid. To say it
Sure,
nicely.
but he also grifts off of old people with bonus buckets. Just saying. You guys don't know the bonus bucket meme?
Dude, you're gonna owe me $300,000 a year if you mess up my employment.
Well, I'll tell you what.
As if.
Well, here's the thing.
Better start selling a body part or something.
Now I'm holding. No, now this is a ransom. I'm gonna need you to start paying the jizya to the Jewish state right now, or I'm gonna continue to make jokes about macaques and recessed monkeys.
Hey, I'm sorry, but Basement Dweller just said I've seen dolls with more vocabulary than Sparrow.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, well, I've
let me
seen more
ask
with
you- let me
As
ask
long
you-
as they have
together.
batteries.
let me ask
Oh
you.
my gosh.
Let me ask you a serious question. Do you think that most young Earth creationists get their ideas because there's no real dating before the flood?
All I'm saying is he's a
I
lovely
can't
man.
answer anything
I'm
right
sure-
now.
I'm sure
Basement
he's a lovely
Dweller's
man.
killing me.
I'm sure he's a lovely man, but he could be related to Basement. At least the photograph. I mean, it's no wonder he doesn't believe in young Earth. Look at his fucking genome. I'm telling you, there's something in there.
I can't stop laughing. That's hilarious.
Love dolls have more.
Oh my goodness. That's the funniest thing I've heard
Hey,
all,
at least
all
the
year.
love doll is good for something else, you know? All right, that's enough making fun of Sparrow and
I know it's so bad, but it's so easy. I'm obnoxious and I apologize, but it's
all
so
she
easy.
all she does is just like, yeah, yeah, sure. Well, hey there, young man. How are you today?
She's the Ed McMahon to praises Johnny Carson.
Oh,
You didn't
Lord.
even need to
You
say
are
it,
correct,
dude.
sir.
Yes. I'm sure that she's a lovely human being, IRL.
Yes, yes.
But
You are correct, sir. Yes.
when you get on the internet and you just the entire child, what are you? Okay, you're good.
You got to do the Vulcan pinch.
I
Put
thought
him to
about
sleep.
this kid. I don't sleep. Nobody sleeps around here. Sleepless in upstate New York. Hey, there you go. There's the name of my next stream. Fuck Seattle. Sleepless in upstate
New York.
I feel like Knock. I've run out of enemies. Well, where did they go?
You
Yeah,
defeated
go
them.
looking for them.
They're all
You'll
gone.
find them.
They're all
Kenny,
You'll
gone.
find it.
so Kenny, getting back to my question, do you think that a lot of these young Earth creationists are believing what they believe because of the lack of information before the flood?
I think it's basically. I don't think it's the lack of information before the flood. I think it's just the assumption that the days in which God laid out his work rest cycle are somehow univocally equivalent to man's work rest cycle.
Nothing about their dogma makes any sense.
Well, I mean,
Because
don't the Sumerian, or I can't remember what.
you're
I think the
overthinking.
Sumerians, they were talking about there was mythology that was actually recorded, but they can't tell if it's mythology or actuality, that these kings lived for thousands of years. So that would tie into, you know, the Methuselah living for 1,000 years and the man living long lives.
There isn't a single young Earth creationist out there who has put as much thought into this as you have. I'm going to tell you why. Because they want to say God done diddly did it, because that is the obvious answer to pretty much all the questions. Any question you have, you can solve it with that gap theory, right?
Right.
And they're not really super forward thinking, so they rely on other people to do it for them. But the people who can do all of the heavy lifting of the thinking are lazy, no good, rotten grifters. So it's not even that like the intelligent folk that come up with all these garbage island theories and the dinosaurs were flooded kind of and then not, and that's why they're buried head up or whatever. All these people that do all these logical backflips and gymnastics to get to where these other people who aren't capable of doing the thinking need to be, those people don't actually believe any of that shit either, because they have two brain cells to rub together. But everyone needs the Bible to be literally true, except in the areas where it's inconvenient for everything to be literally true. Then it's an allegory, or it's a parable, or it's a metaphor, or it's a euphemism. That's inconvenient. But the things that a lot of people believe, especially here in the United States on the evangelical side, right? Like the young earth thing, the radical types. This stuff hasn't been around that long. Kenny, wasn't it this theory developed somewhere in the 1920s where it became prevalent in the United States? Isn't that about the ballpark?
Yeah, pretty close. And it was Richard Price from Seventh-day Adventism, and then to Henry Morris, and then to my mentor, John C. Whitcomb Jr. So I have a connection to this, genealogy of young earth creationism. So I know it better than anybody. And anyway, I got to watch what I say.
And then it all gets connected back to the same dumpster that is like this hyper gracer crap. And it's easy to just, anybody that doesn't believe what you believe, that thinks that you have to do something because the Bible said so, then automatically gets accused of being a works-based salvationist, up to and including belief as a work. So like for example, Jack Smack would be one of those, where he goes, well, if you're trying to live like Jesus at all, then you're probably going to end up in hell, right? Because belief is a work. So if the atheist is more likely to get into hell, and it's all just nonsense because they're trying to justify this one thing that they just can't let go of, despite the fact that they're being completely bombarded and dragged down by the science. And then they will tell you, no, the science actually proves my side of the thing. And then when they go to tell you, right, they're counting on you being a gullible stooge as well, a mook, a dumblet. So they just bombard you with complicated language to get to their point rather than just directly telling you what it is they mean. So they'll just completely flood you with jargon until you have completely lost the plot, and then you're so frustrated with the fact that you don't understand what's going on, and of course you don't want to sound like an idiot, that you just nod your head and go, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense, or like, I'll have to look into that. That's the game. It's just another psychological operation that these people run because they need their dumb crap to be right for no apparent reason other than the fact that it's the popular belief within the sphere of morons who will shell out hundreds or thousands of dollars and basically tithes to these mega churches and these gargantuan the capitalist machine. Now, not that there's anything wrong with capitalism, but the kind of capitalism that the evangelical televangelists, laying hands morons that clearly don't do it, they pay a stooge in the audience to act like he's possessed or something. That's
Don't knock it till you try it.
That's the Apis bull right there. There's your golden calf. These mega churches, go on all day about camels and eyes of needles, and they're the biggest fucking camel in the room.
Well, now you're talking religion, and as far as I know, Jesus
Well,
said
that's
he
what it
hated
is.
religion.
I'm not busting anyone's
I mean,
balls.
that's the way I read the
Jesus.
Bible. If anybody reads the Bible differently, I'd like to know why, because Jesus spoke against religion.
Sure. I'm not here to disagree with you on that fact. I'm here saying that they've created a monastery for
Absolutely.
ridiculous amounts of. They basically the worship of wealth.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I've been so quiet, because I agree with everything you said.
I mean, these places do not need to be like I was looking at this one mega church from this dum that runs infomercials at 2:00 on Sunday because that's what's on the damn monitors. And I was watching it and I just Googled it and it's like it's got an indoor pool and a gym and the guy's got 3 jets and whatever. And he's like, I need them for Jesus. And I'm like, yeah, sure.
No,
You do, bud.
I've got a bad back. I need him for. I've got a bad back.
Yeah, get an office chair then, you monkey.
It's really easy to justify, then justify, then justify. Especially, I had to watch myself because you can compile and add upon. Okay, so I need this for this. Oh, but then this needs this, and then this needs this. You really have to govern yourself, or you can get trapped into that where everything is justified.
All you need is the Bible and to know what you're talking about. That's really all you need.
Well,
that's really it.
I mean, here's the example that I get. When Jesus surrounded himself with the disciples, he knew who would betray him from the start, and he kept Judas around him the whole time. Now, Judas served a purpose, yes, but I think the example also is that in the church, there's always going to be these zealots who go beyond, and it becomes about not serving God how he needs to be served, but how we want to serve him. And then we get off point and it becomes about the money or the popularity or
that's the thing that really that's the really thing that
I mean, look,
my
here's an example of me in life. Okay, people ask me, are you Republican or Democrat? I say neither. I'm not liberal either. I consider myself a constitutionalist because I believe in what my forefathers wrote down. I believe what they shed their blood for. And to take anything out of context, what it says, yes, there are amendments to it, and I agree with those amendments because they were voted on.
Well, here's the son of a bitch in it that really gets me. On the one hand, Jesus is in the temple flipping over the tables and the money changers and beating some stooge with a whip, like he's like he's the guy who wrote "Retard Bus." By the way, listen to that whole song; that's amazing. Name escapes me. But on the other hand, the churches that don't do that, like there are churches in town that still operate, and they've got 2 or 3 patrons. Is that the word? Worshippers? I don't know what the hell you guys call them. I used to know all that garbage, but they operate, and there's no way that they're operating. No, parishioners would be the guys who run the damn thing. They're like there's churches in town that I know for a fact. It's just really just 3 old people and some guy yelling at them for an hour.
I just call them members.
Sure, whatever you want. Call them the King's Nuts. I don't give a shit. So they're not really. They're not even operating at cost. It's like they're. It's like they can't even keep the electricity on sometimes. They got to shut the whole church off. So you can't air condition it. Some old lady passes out. So I don't know how you balance that between the opulence of religion and the simplicity of just running a church as normal. I mean, the Catholics got it nailed down. It's basically a corporation. Catholic Inc.
Yeah. And that's where it's religion. And I think these small churches that struggle, if you'll notice that, yeah, some things happen, but then out of those small things that happen, great things happen in the end. The church that gets their lights turned off might get a donation that not only gets their lights turned back on, but ensures that those lights stay on for the next year.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it depends. I think it depends on the faith of not only the pastor or the leader of the church, but also the community of the church.
Yeah, well, if they could stay alive long enough. I mean, this one church that I'm thinking of in particular has had 4 or 5 of them in the past couple of years. They're just old and they die. And I don't know how you balance that. I don't know.
The way I view it, the church takes care of itself in many ways, but the main way is the pastor's taken care of by the people and the parishioners.
Yeah, apparently Jesus isn't inspiring enough or interesting or whatever, exciting enough for people to come. So back to what I was saying about these weirdos with the yak crap and like the SFTs and the Matt Powells of the world, right? These folks make Jesus more interesting. I would figure that he would be interesting enough on his own or inspiring enough on his own, but I guess they've got to really sell it with Garbage Island. I guess that's what they have to sell it with, facts and logic, yo. They've got to be down with they're one hip hop song away from being a meme, but it's really selling it. I guess, I don't know. Well, anyway, that'll be enough of me shitting on not your religion, really. That'll be enough about shitting on certain types of Christianity for I gotta give my kid a bath. I'll see y'all later. I might stream, I might not. I haven't figured it out or decided what the hell I'm doing.
All right, well, God bless.
Yep. Good night, man. Good night. And actually, tonight is my son's 22nd birthday. So I've got to get going too.
Roger that one. Ciao, Kenny.
Yep. All right. Well, I'll just say good night because I've got to get in the shower and everything. So I think tonight was a great stream. God bless you all.